All right, we have the famous TIG, John Tiegen in. Said it right.
Yes, you did.
I got on that one. Usually mess up that 9 out of 10 times. Famous for the Benghazi, the movie 13 Hours, the book 13 Hours. It's sold out. It's got one left on Amazon. Honor to be sitting next to you, sir.
I appreciate it. It's good to be here. It'll be a fun night.
How do you like South Florida so far? When you're not working.
It's a lot warmer than Colorado.
Yeah, I don't think I would want to be in. We both are from Pennsylvania, and I look at pictures of my friends, and they got the fur coat on and everything. No, thank you.
Okay. No, I got a T-shirt. I'm good.
How cold is it in Colorado right now?
It's well, the other day, actually before I left, it was up in the 70s, but it's been in the 30s. It's been below freezing.
Now, you didn't grow up in Colorado, right?
No. Well, I grew up. I would say I grew up in Colorado, but I was born in Iowa. But I was about between 8 and 10 years old when we moved to Colorado.
Now, when you're 8 and 10 years old and you're in Colorado, like, are you into football, basketball, baseball? What's your sport are you not into
football?
Sports?
No, football and track. I watched Iowa Hawkeyes growing up. I still follow the Hawkeyes for the most part. But no, it was football and track.
What was your favorite football team?
NFL wise or college?
NFL.
So NFL at that time. Actually, I'd probably say it was the Washington Redskins.
Yeah.
Yep.
Well, now it's the Washington team.
Yeah, and whatever. It's still the Redskins.
Yeah.
Anybody does. Yeah. If you're an NFL player and you've been following it, I think you call the Washington Redskins. Don't let these cancel cultures idiots freaking change it.
Isn't that weird though? Like to
It
call
is.
them the Washington team.
What the hell is that?
Like you couldn't like if you're gonna change it, can you come up with something better like Washington Red?
How about Washington? How about Deep State Washington? Or something?
That's a good one.
I mean,
But
I don't know.
What's next, right?
Did they change the logo? Is the logo still there? Is it? They get rid of the logo.
I think they did. I think it's just a W.
WFT.
Is that what it is?
Yes.
So they're like college then. Doesn't a lot of college just do the
Colleges doing it now. I stay away
well, some of them used to just do the letter. I mean, it's not wrong, but
yeah.
I don't know. It's just
Next thing you know, it won't be the Notre Dame Fighting Irish that have been around for. What's that?
Yeah, so Notre Dame, they just use the ND, don't they, on their helmets?
Yeah.
They do, but they're going at them. I mean,
But again, that's college. That's you expect that from college because that's how I remember. I mean, Iowa, they have the eagle or the eagle's face, or a hawk's face, actually, not an eagle. But I don't know, dude. It's just ridiculous. The only people who cry about it are really not even the Indians. It's usually just these guilt liberal honkies that just don't like their lives, I guess. I don't know what it is because even the tribes have come out and said, no, we like the fact that they're, they got the Indians, they got the Redskins,
You're right, because if I'm in that tribe, I would take that as a compliment.
Yeah,
and
because they're warriors, they're fighters,
and you root for them, and it is part. And you don't see anybody from any tribe speaking out saying that we have a problem with this. So
I mean, what are they going to do about the military equipment?
What are they going to do?
I mean, you got the Apaches, which is an Army helicopter.
So what are they going to do with that?
Tomahawk cruise missile, is that going to have to be changed now? I mean, I don't know. It's crazy, dude.
Yeah, when you start thinking about it, you just start to say to yourself, what the hell is going on?
You're just supporting American history. It's stupid, man. It really is stupid. I just don't understand it.
And just try to stay away from that wormhole.
Because here's the thing. If you take away everything that represents something because you think it's racist, nobody's going to look up history. Nobody's going to look up anything. Nobody's going to look up the Navajo, the Apaches, what do they mean by Redskins, the Indians, people complain they don't teach things in school. Well, if they don't teach in school and it's not out in public in society, like the statues and all this,
nobody knows anything.
Yeah, it's going to repeat itself.
So then guys that risk their life like you never get recognized, and that's fucked up.
Well, I don't need to be recognized, but...
Well, I think you do. You and many other people is what I'm saying.
No, yeah.
Yeah.
So, I mean, you have to know the history of the country, where it came from, good and bad. But it seems like they want to erase all the good, but Yeah, it's dumb.
It's dumb.
It's just dumb.
So before we get started on your whole entire life, I want to pull up the what you're doing for all the vets and trying to help out, and that is the United American Defense Force. Can you pull up tab 1 and just explain a little bit of this to us so we can help
So
out you?
this one, it actually is it's for the community. It's not really it's not for vets. It's for just for every average day American. How do you? Because during 2020, we saw all the attacks that was going on in our own country. Pretty much, to me, domestic terrorism, terrorist attacks, destroying cities, killing Americans. Over 40 Americans were killed in 2020 over these riots and looting over George Floyd. Pretty much, that's how it started. But every time a cop would do something, killing a criminal, whether armed, unarmed, but still, he was always a criminal. Always had a history of criminal. All of them pretty much did. The looting would continue. The attacks would continue on Americans. So I started UADF to teach the community how to stand up for itself. Because for one, the cops were overtaxed. They couldn't be anywhere and everywhere when you have hundreds upon hundreds of cops in one location. But again, businesses were being destroyed. Houses were being attacked. People were being attacked. So actually, we stood up. The first time I stood up was in July out in Colorado. It was just over social media before I got blackballed and removed. And after I did a couple of them, people started, how are you doing this? How are you organizing? It was just posts. We're not organized at all whatsoever. It was just Americans who were pissed off, tired of seeing their towns and cities being destroyed. Because again, we live there. We don't want to see this destroyed over some temper tantrum of a movement. And so I started UADF. We started standing up. I'm starting to actually push it out a lot more this year than I was last year. Actually 2022 hopefully be a little bit bigger. We got another app that we're actually getting ready to purchase, so I'm actually trying to raise funds for that.
Do you have a GoFundMe for that?
Nope, it's just I have my own platform. We're a 501c3. You can just donate right to United Support Medical and Support. But if you donate to UADF, it's a 501c3. So we're trying to do that. I'm trying to get a lot of more businesses involved, more people involved. Of course, the left, they always label us as a right extremist militia because we get involved we help out with politics. We get involved with politics. We go to school boards. Because we were hearing about the parents being attacked by BLM Antifa members at school board meetings. Not physically, but just verbally. But they got their kids. They're bringing their kids there because their parents, they don't always have babysitters. They can't afford it. So we started showing up. Of course, the media, they came after us saying, we're threatening people, but they have no video footage of it, but they'll print it. Whatever. Anything that the media prints about anybody standing up for the community and it's negative, you have to know it's false. So we actually flipped a lot of the board members, Board of Education members in Colorado, a lot of them. So that'll start getting better. But that's kind of what I'm doing with UADF. We're getting involved in human trafficking.
Yeah, read that, Rob, will you? That's great. That's great, Tig.
An article published by the DEA in January 2021 stated both domestic and transnational gangs in the United States are increasingly turning to selling women and children for sex. It's a multi-billion-dollar criminal enterprise that affects tens of millions of people across the country and across the world, but we are seeing it across our area and even in our own neighborhoods. We have violent gangs and criminal organizations specific to our area who are known horrific traffickers who target our vulnerable populations, our neighbors, and even our family members. We encourage you to read the full article here.
So now, when I join, and I saw that there's you can do a reoccurring for like $40 a month, or you can donate. Where does that go to? Just it's broken up through all of the different things that you do.
Yeah. So right now, a lot of it goes to admin fees because I just started it. The human trafficking, we actually partnered with 15 other different human trafficking organizations. It goes under the umbrella of Safe Rockies. And there's an app that we're trying to get. It costs a lot of money. It's not free. I was trying to do one for UADF itself, but talking with these guys, they've been working on this one for 5 years with 28 dedicated coders. I'm like, I ain't got that money or that time. So we're going to purchase this app with them and go that way. So it's kind of what we're doing. We're partnering with them, trying to help them out, but also build a community that can also protect and defend itself. There's a lot of things I want to do with the human trafficking, but it's in the process of kind of going forward. It's still, I'm only a year old, and I started gathering people before I actually had the infrastructure. So I'm working backwards. I'm a backwards individual, but we needed people. We needed people to stand up for the community in the beginning. So I didn't care about the infrastructure. Pretty much nobody did either. So I'm slowly backtracking, kind of putting things on hold, on moving forward, on recruiting and stuff like that, because I need to get the infrastructure down. So that's kind of where the donations is going to right now. It's going for the infrastructure of the organization, but it's again, this is not a fly by night. It's going to be a long-term process. So if you want to donate, if directly actually helping human traffickers, that's not, eventually we're going to get there, but we need a base to start from. We augment a lot of our personnel to help with actually rescuing. So we are involved. Don't get me wrong, but so it's kind of a weird situation, but obviously we need the funding to actually grow and get big. We've been standing up since 2020. We've intervened in a lot of situations, especially in a lot of the neighborhoods when the rioting and looting was going on, and they were actually attacking people. If you're paying attention, you'll see it in a lot of the video footage when they're going just shattering people's windows, attacking neighbors and stuff like that. They were getting to a point when they heard us, just heard that we were coming, they would leave, like almost immediately. So when we'd show up, nobody'd be there, which is fine. I don't care.
Well, and that's what you want, really.
Yeah, I'm not there to get an altercation. I'm not there to stop you from protesting. UADF, that's not what we're doing. We want to protect the community. There's no reason. You can go out and protest all you want. When you start getting violent and destructive, that does affect me. That affects everybody in that community. So that's not right. You want to burn down businesses and stuff like that. If you want to go to Walmart and burn it down, honestly, I really don't care. But when you start destroying the mom and pop shops and killing fellow Americans that are actually defending their mom and pop shop, I got a problem with that, and I'm going to stand up, because the law enforcement obviously wasn't doing it because it happened. You had a nation of Chads that set up in Seattle. You still have a no-go zones over in Floyd's neighborhoods and stuff like that. That's just wrong. You have Portland still going on for almost freaking 2 years now. And now no, the law enforcement wasn't doing anything, and now you have the mobs coming in and just robbing businesses. Yesterday I was reading how a mob went in and actually robbed a physical therapy office in the middle of the day while they're providing physical therapy for people.
Got away with it?
Got away with it, all in California.
Well,
I'm just glad it hasn't.
That's not a shocker.
I'm just glad it hasn't spread across the country, but when is it?
Well, yeah, right. When's it going to? I mean, because it's not just going to stay in California.
No, and it's being organized.
Of course it is.
So
it has to be, right?
So that's what. But anyways, I started UADF doing that. I mean, any business that wants to help out, if we are 501c3. We need the funds. We can't grow without it. It's a lot of the funds it goes towards equipment. We have a bus. We have a trailer. A lot of it's in Colorado. Majority of the organization, because that's the blueprint. But we have a bus, we have a trailer that acts as an aid station, so if somebody gets hurt, we can help out. We've done search and rescues, we've done food drives, toy drives, and stuff like that. So we do things, but again, we can't do without the support of the community.
Right, and you got to fix what's broken first to be able to fix it.
Yeah.
So when you donate, it's going to the right spot.
It is.
It's not going in your pocket to dinner. Like, it's going where it needs to go.
Nope.
So you're doing a great thing with that.
Yeah.
So that will be in the description, and that is UNITEDADF.com. And anything you can give is $1 is $1, right, John?
Yeah. So again, I mean, it's not a Wounded Warrior project, right. But again, a lot of it goes to overhead. It goes to cost. It doesn't go directly to people. But the donation is taxable, but it goes to gear and equipment and admin support and stuff like that.
Great. It's a great thing.
So, but I do have another organization for the veterans. It's the Beyond the Battlefield. We help veterans anywhere for anything and everything but legal fees. I mean, we've rebuilt houses. We've built new houses. We service dogs, TBI, PTS treatment. I never use the D because it's not a disorder. It's just stress that you just don't know how to deal with. And so we've bought food, gas. So we do a warrior weekend, and we bring veterans out and support them. Again, just a mental thing, get the community together, and it's a healing process.
And this is it right here?
Yep, that's it.
There
right
it is. So just explain a little bit of it quick, Tig.
Yeah.
It's when they come here. So people are listening, like on Spotify or something else, they know what they're...
Gotcha. So, yeah it's the TIEGenFoundation.org because the Beyond the Battlefield website was already taken. So we had to change that name portion of it. But again, it kind of gives a little bit of information. The website does. Obviously, it's a 501c3. Nobody is paid in Beyond the Battlefield. It all 100% goes right back into the community, into the veterans. We've had guys that would email us because they would just think it's just another party getaway kind of thing. And actually, we've had some that come back and said, I was going to come here and do your event and go home and kill myself.
Wow.
And I'm dead serious. We've had a couple
and that's
emails
got to wake
like
you
that.
up.
And
right?
it's like, again, all we're doing, we're bringing veterans together so they can talk to each other, communicate with each other. And it's like it's a fire pit powwow. And we've changed quite a few veterans' lives, and it's one at a time. But the biggest thing is I tell everybody, we don't take any money for ourselves. It all goes right back into the veterans and how we can support them. It goes again for food, gas, utilities, treatment, dogs, houses. So the only thing we won't do is pay for your legal fees.
I think that's pretty fair, right?
Because we did it this way because when I was doing a lot of speaking events, I started learning about all these veteran organizations, this and that. And I had vets come up to me and say, I went for help for this group, but they say, we don't do this. And they would just leave them alone. It's like, oh, were you a combat vet? No. Or were you a Vietnam vet? No. Were you this? Were you special forces? No. Well, we can't help you. But then they would never guide them also where to go. So I was like, you know what? We'll just do one and we'll just do it all. And we'll just help them out. If we can't do it, we will push you to a place, not push you, but show you where you can go and get extra help because we can't do everybody because we don't have all the funds for it and the expertise and stuff like that. But we know where to get people to go. But if we can help you, we're going to help you. We'll pay for flights to get to a therapy. We'll do this. We'll do that. So when I was hearing about veterans just getting shut out and not the support that they needed from other veteran organizations, It was
and they don't.
It's sad.
I was just telling you about my friend.
Yeah.
And maybe if he would have had the opportunity, had he had taken it, nobody knows, right? But my friend passed away, and he was a Marine as well. And, maybe if he would have had the opportunity to get help like this, maybe he would still be here.
Yeah. But again, it also goes not every, how do I say, not every treatment is for everybody.
Right. And I don't know that he would have.
Well, they might. Well,
way.
no, that's what I'm saying is they might have to go to 5 or 6 different things to figure out which one works for them. Because we sent a law enforcement guy to probably about 5 different treatments, and it was like the 5th one it clicked with him.
But you didn't give up on it.
We didn't give up. It's like we'll just keep sending you to. We can't do it for your whole entire life. But we're going to send you to different treatment facilities that do different things. And we didn't try them all, but we hit that 5th one, and that was it. That's why I keep telling people, and I get it a lot of time from vets. Well, I went to this one, it didn't work. Okay, did you try another one? No, because it's not going to work. How do you know? Not every treatment is the same. So not every facility does it the same way. So I just try to tell veterans, again, just keep looking. If it didn't work, go to the next one. I'm sorry, but that's just how it is because everybody's brain's different. You're different. Not everybody's the same. So
you never say no. You show you how.
Yeah,
I got that off a mortgage guy. That's what he says we don't say no. We show you how.
Maybe we should just put it on the website.
That's pretty good.
We don't say no.
Right? I was kind of impressed he came up with that.
That's pretty good.
Yeah,
like
we never say no. We show you how.
Yeah.
If we can't do it, we show you how.
Yeah.
But you're right though. That's the problem. They just turn people away.
Yep, it is. And So we kind of become we partner we partner with the other veteran nonprofits and foundations because we have to. All these veteran organizations don't work with any other ones. You might want to question their true motives.
Yeah. And like I was saying earlier, evading back to my friend, when they took his overtime away from the VA, and the VA, obviously, he's helping veterans. When they took that overtime away from him, I think that was the nail in the coffin for him. After all the post-traumatic stress syndrome or, in whatever, you call it.
Yeah.
After all that and then taking away his overtime, and that was I think that kept him, he would always say his brotherhood. He felt like he was back with his brotherhood again,
Yeah.
And then when they took that overtime away from him, I mean, that just, it was like a man blow. And I mean that in a good way.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
And you never know what's going to affect somebody.
Yeah.
Until it does. You just never know.
Well, I think that overtime with the vets, I think that made him feel like he was back with his brothers again. And
Yep.
the loss that he had, he had felt kind of like at whole with them because they were part of him. And then when they smacked, 6 hours a day away from him, not only then did his wife have to go to work, which drove him nuts, now he's not with his brothers. That's what he would always refer to him as. So unfortunate, but wherever he is, hopefully he's in peace.
Yeah, hopefully.
One way or another, he's in peace, right? You
Yeah.
would think.
Yeah, hopefully, yeah.
So anyway, so you move to Colorado, you go there, and then you grow up with a broken home. Now, when you move to Colorado, are your parents divorced at this time?
Oh, they were divorced before I even remember.
Oh, so you're like me. My mom were divorced at 3.
Yep, it was 3. So
I never remember them being together. All I remember is them not liking each other very much.
now my older brother and sister, they remember them being together, but I mean, it could have been before I was 3 or something like that. But yeah, there was nope. Didn't. So we went out there. It was pretty much my mom chasing her sister out to Colorado is kind of what it was. It actually is her husband, my mom's my aunt, pretty much, my aunt. So he was part of a biker gang and got killed during a drug deal, and so that's why they ended up actually moving to Colorado.
Oh, okay.
So and then my mom and just following her out there. So that's how we actually ended up out in Colorado. So
Freezing to death.
no, actually, it's a lot warmer than Iowa.
Yeah.
Iowa was like eight years of winter, and then
like might as well go to Alaska.
dude, I remember.
Like get blinded for all day long. Have you ever been to Alaska?
Well, no, I flew through there. Does that count? In the Marine Corps.
I wanted to ask.
We never left the airport.
I wanted to ask what it was like to have the sun blasting you for 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, and then black for 7 days straight.
No, never. No, it was just we just passed through it.
Oh, okay.
So, but no, I just remember being from like October till June. There was always snow on the ground in Iowa. It was just cold, man, cold.
Now, how did you learn such of a strong work ethic?
I have no idea. I think it's just probably growing up kind of poor. You learned how to go and get money when you wanted toys. So, Iowa, I mean, I'm talking like 2nd, 3rd grade going out shoveling snow, because I wanted to buy something.
Yeah.
And then Colorado, same thing, mowing lawns, raking leaves, still shoveling. So it's just, if you want something, you have to earn it. And to earn it, you have to go work for it. So, and the harder you worked, the more money you made. So I think that's kind of where it came from for me.
And then that helped you deal with adversity too.
Yeah.
Right.
So
I had to do it too. I remember going around. Me and my buddy, we were kids. We knock on doors to shovel their snow. For like $1, so we could get a fucking snow cone when it's 32 degrees out.
Right.
But now that I've been in Florida,
did you get the yellow one?
I would get. I would get the blue one. I would get the blue one. You like the yellow one?
No, I was just kidding. The yellow snow.
The piss snow. I just got buried.
You guys did it the hard way. I used to rub my aunt's feet, and I used to get like money. I know it sounds weird, but she used to just rub.
Oh hell no! I'd rather go shovel snow.
Yeah, fuck that. I'll take the heavy metal shovel and a knit hat over that.
I mean, it was just.
He's a bunion lover.
It was just a little lotion, and then you'd rub it in, and then she'd give you $5, and I'd go get the Terminator figures. That's what I wanted as a kid. The Terminator figures.
That was a G.I. Joe.
G.I. Joe. Dad, they had them.
I was a He-Man.
He-Man?
I was He-Man.
Yeah.
And Knight Rider. Remember Knight Rider?
Oh,
Michael
yeah.
Knight? Did you watch Michael Knight?
Yeah, I watched Knight Rider.
Kit?
Yeah. I always wanted to know who the guy was in Kit, and then I found out who he was with the gray hair. He was in some movie. I never thought that's how he would look.
Where's that Kit car at? Was it supposed to be here now?
Yeah. Well,
is that the Tesla or something?
Well, where's the Back to the Future 2 car? Because Back to the Future 2 was like 2020, they said they went to, remember? And the cars were flying and shit, and they had the hoverboards.
Yeah. So maybe another 200 years.
I'm sure they have it. They're just milking it out to make.
Well, they do. They don't got hovering cars. We got the flying cars, actually. The wings will fold in. You can drive on the road. You seen that?
He's fucking with me again.
No, dude, it's actually pretty.
You already got me once. So I'm not.
No, it's
I'm not
pretty
gonna
cool.
Get killed again because the yellow one you got me. It didn't click because I was like, well, I do know they make a yellow snow cone. Maybe you like yellow snow cones.
No, it's a real thing. It's a plane car. It's not. It's a flying car, but not like the hover car. But yeah, it's a plane. The wings they come in, fold in, and it does a streamline. It's pretty freaking cool.
Wow. When do you think that will? I mean, obviously
it's there.
But I mean, when do you think it will come? I mean, well, you have to deal with air traffic control.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking.
It's a whole thing, right?
Yeah, I was kind of wondering how that's going to work. With the
how many years away do you think we are away from that?
I think that would have to be all autopilot stuff. They'd have to because people are stupid.
Oh,
they can't even drive on the road, let alone in the air.
Going how fast?
I don't need a car. I don't need a car flying into my house. I live out in the middle of nowhere, and the next thing I need is a car in my house.
Next thing you know, you'll see instead of roofs, it will be like concrete.
Right?
We'll be back to caveman shit.
Yeah.
If you're ever at the beach here, Juno Beach, there's a guy who has a hang glider almost, it looks like, in the air, and it's gas powered. And like he's up in the air, you're hearing this noise, you're hearing.
The power gliders.
And he's flying the hell around. I'm like, man, if this guy runs out of gas, he's falling right in my fucking head. And he's zipping around over the ocean back. It's crazy. Yeah.
Is that what that is?
It's a power glider. So actually, if it runs out, it'll just eventually come down. It doesn't drop. So it's got a parachute on it.
Oh,
well, unless it's the fixed wing. Is it the fixed wing?
Yeah, I think it's a fixed wing.
Oh, that'll just drop.
Oh,
but it'll glide.
A little bit, yeah.
But not like the power glide where it actually has it's a parachute. So if your engine goes out, you just come down as a parachute.
Oh, he has a hell of a time. He's all over the beach, and I think he's just looking down at the ladies. That's probably what he's doing from up.
So the thing he's talking about, it can't come through down here and crush through the table.
I wouldn't have that much now because it'd collapse on the roof.
But how if you were standing outside and hit you in the head?
It'd probably kill you.
Yeah.
Okay, great. I'm staying the fuck away from that guy. No, thank you. I'll go out a different way.
Actually, I thought about getting a driver. It's got a sporting license for a lot of those. So I thought about because I got 40 acres.
Well, then what I would do then is I would just stand next to you because I know you're not going to kill yourself.
Yeah. So, but I'm like, I got 40 acres, and it takes me like 40 minutes to drive into town. So I might as well get this thing. I can fly into town for like 20 minutes.
Yeah. You could say, Mr. Government, you left me in Benghazi for 13 hours on, pretty much a suicide mission. Can I just get the first pass to fly the car to my 40 acres? Maybe they'll say yeah.
But I don't want to say I wouldn't want a car because the power goes out. Like he was saying, you're going down fast. With the power glider, you have to parachute. So if the power goes out, you just
jump on the parachute.
No, you just parachute down. It's attached to it, so it's over your head. So it's like a big.
Oh, so you're good to go.
Yeah, so like I just take that thing, man.
Wait a minute. Is a power glider the things those guys have in the ocean and they're pushing the button and it looks like almost an astronaut? No.
They have different ones. They have one where actually it's the same thing, but it's a backpack. It's a big blade on the backpack, but it's a parachute. Yeah.
And you hit the buttons and you can go up in the ocean.
But it's the thing that's making you go around. But again, if you lose power, you just kind of float to the ground. Versus like a plane, you just come straight down. You're done.
Yeah,
so I'd rather have one of those.
I watched a video of that thing.
There you go. So like the one more down, even it looks like almost one over. That thing. That's the one that I was going to learn how to fly.
Oh, that doesn't look.
Wait, no, that's not that's the one you see on the beach, right?
No, the one on the beach is a little different. It's literally like, I think it's like this almost.
What in the hell is that?
So that one has the parachute. I should have the parachute.
Yeah, this is it. This is the one the guy has. So he's strapped in.
Just click on it.
He's strapped in that seat right there. You see the seat part? So it looks like a seat. He's strapped in it. There's the fan in the back that's powered by gas. And then a parachute almost opens up over top of him. And he's just, when I say he's zipping, he's over the ocean, back over the ocean, over top, back. And he's hanging out there. We were at the beach for like 3 hours or 4 hours one day, and he was there the entire time above us. And I'm like, man, this guy's having a hell of a time. He's
So what were they calling that thing?
A mini. It says mini plane ABM para motor
7,100.
But see, with the parachute, you don't have to worry about just crashing.
crashing down.
You have to worry about crashing into something, but not crashing down.
Now, do you need like a license or a
Yeah, you do.
certificate?
It's a sport license, so you can see the parachute on the one you were just on. You can see the go up
Go up.
right there. That one you can kind of see the cords coming down, or the yeah.
So if you're listening to this, there's a guy. You explain this, Tig, because wow.
See the there you go. Now you
Okay.
can see the parachute. So they have those
That's
kind of
right.
in a 2-seater form, so you can have like they're actually pretty cool.
Yeah, that's cool. If you're listening to this, go to YouTube and watch it because that's cool.
Yeah, he's all over the place. Anyhow,
5,200. Want to go 3 waves on it, guys?
get around town.
That's
quick.
what she said. But yeah, I mean, I almost
Before we're all alone guys with alimony payments,
right.
or a second one.
So I was actually going. I was gonna go for my pilot license, but since I have sleep apnea, I can't get my pilot license.
Do you have sleep apnea?
Yeah.
When did you develop that?
It's pretty much after Benghazi. It might have been before, but I was diagnosed afterwards.
Yeah.
But whatever. So
So then you get through that. Now, when you're growing up, right? What would your fate? You liked football.
Yeah.
When we were talking before, fate running back.
yeah, I was running back, free safety, outside linebacker.
Yeah, I could see free safety. I
Yeah.
could see it.
I was a quick little honky, and I ran track, but I like the defense more than the offense.
Did you?
Oh yeah,
You like to hit?
oh yeah,
So, when I was playing, I actually liked to get hit. I liked it.
Yeah.
Because it would make me mad, and then I would just, I didn't mind it. If I didn't get hit, it just wasn't fun. I don't know. I just liked getting. I'm not all there, I guess. What are you gonna do?
yeah. It was football was a lot of fun for me, but I knew I wasn't gonna go to college. There's no.
Oh, you knew that.
I hated school.
Yeah, me too.
God, I hated school.
Well, you don't use any of it in life. Maybe like 5% of it.
Well, it's spelling, I guess.
Yeah.
I use a calculator for math now, so that doesn't matter.
Yeah. Well, out of all the subjects, what was your favorite subject? Or what? Not favorite.
PE.
What could you tolerate? PE. Rob, what was yours in school?
I like science class.
So I liked math because I figured one day maybe I'll be able to count money and have some money in my pocket. But then they started doing that calculus shit, and I'm like, I'm never gonna use this. And then my grades just went to shit.
Yeah, that's pretty much the same way. I liked math as well. Science probably was my least favorite.
Well, the science,
Subject.
me too, because the science that they teach in school to me, is nonsense. The science that you can read on a real webpage like PubMed or something like that and learn something, that's
Yeah.
cool.
So it was kind of funny. So actually, I went and got my GED when I was 16. Actually, to get a job, not because I dropped out, because I wanted to get a job. I was still going to high school, and the one I scored the highest on was science. So the class I skipped the most, I had the highest score on. I was just like, it made no sense to me, but whatever.
Now, at 17, you decide, look, I want to be a Marine, right?
Yeah, I joined the Marine Corps delayed entry program. So you can join a year before you graduate. That's kind of what I did.
Can you still do that now?
Pretty sure.
Kind of.
I don't see why they would change that, because it just kind of encourages the individual to kind of stay on top, because the recruiter's more involved in what you're doing, and they're always in contact with you and stuff like that. And so I did that, and then I never graduated high school because I had my GED. In the middle of my I was probably the only kid in high school that had a cell phone in 95. Pretty amazing. Every kid now has it, and my kids even have one. But so he calls me up in the middle of my third period class, English. And I just remember it because me and this English teacher always got into it. I mean, like verbal altercations a lot.
Uh-oh.
But so obviously, so the recruiter calls me. I'm like, well, this is kind of weird. Why does he call me? And so I answer the phone. In the middle of class, teacher's yelling at me, hang up that phone, hang it up, what are you doing, this and that. I'm like, so the recruiter's like Sergeant Black, he's a black guy, Go figure, right? But
Try that nowadays.
Yeah, right. I say it all the time because it's Sergeant Black. But so he says, "Hey, when do you want to go to boot camp?" I don't know. When do you need me? I need you to go next Thursday. Okay. Can you come down to the office? He's like, when? He says, I need you 20 minutes ago. So I look around. Of course, teacher's still yelling at me. I'll be there. I'll be there in like 10 minutes. Hung up the phone, walked out, never went back.
And that was it.
And that was it.
Now, at this time, what kind of music are you listening to?
Oh, shoot. I listen to all kinds of stuff, man. I listen to heavy metal like Metallica, Megadeth. I mean, I was listening to Tupac and, all of it. Country. It didn't really matter to me.
Yeah. I listened to all of it, too. I like Tupac a lot, too. I had the guy in who saw the Tupac Biggie case, Greg Caden. Great fucking guy. You would love him. Yeah. He reminds me a lot. Doesn't Greg remind you a lot of? He reminds me a lot of you. Just a real down-to-earth guy, but not a guy you want investigating you. That's for sure. Because he's the only one. He was the only one over a decade that could figure them all out.
Oh yeah, he's a good reader, man.
P. Diddy.
Yeah.
Well, no, he said it's not P. Diddy, but I love you, Greg, but I still think P. Diddy was behind it all. I love Greg to death. I talk to him all the time. Great guy.
I thought it was the Biggie dude.
Well, Biggie dude got killed.
With Tupac?
Yeah, it was this guy, Orlando Anderson. He pulled the trigger. It was a blood crypt. And then out in California, it was Crips killed Tupac, Bloods killed Biggie. Okay. Long story short. If you want to watch the video, MSCS Media, Greg Kading. Anyway.
But yeah, I mean, I hung out with everybody, man. I hung out with the jocks. I hung out with the stoners. I hung out with the goth. I didn't really care, man. I didn't care who people, whatever, man. People are people, whatever.
Yeah.
The smokers, hung out with them. I didn't smoke. The potheads, the stoners, whatever, dude. I didn't really care.
Okay, so now you're 17. You leave English class. Go down to the recruiter, right? The guy who's basically keeping you in line, kind of like,
Yeah.
And what happens from there?
Yeah, literally like what was it? November 28th, I head to boot camp. So it was like just a few days after Thanksgiving, head to boot camp. Get there. This was during Bill Clinton days. The government actually shut down, so they had a backlog. And so when I get there, we go to gosh darn it.
Why you think about why did they shut down again then?
I don't remember.
I was when I was reading everything about you, I couldn't figure out.
I don't remember why they shut down, but they had shut down for something. And so we went into anyway. So they had a backlog, so a bunch of people were there. So I was only there for one night, and then the next morning we actually got into our DIs, our drill instructors. So we get there. And I just remember all of us that showed. It was only a few because it gets spread out quite a bit. But the ones that we came with were sitting. Of course, you got to sit. You sit on the ground, Indian style. Legs crossed. It's Indian style. If people don't know, I mean, it's not a racial thing. It's called Indian style because legs are crossed, sitting down. And the drill instructor comes in and he goes eyes, and everybody around us yells snap. I'm like, what the hell? Ears open. I'm like, how the hell do you guys know what to say? Well, they've been there for a week.
And you're just walking in.
I'm just walking in. I'm like going, this is bullcrap, man.
Yeah.
So it took me a little while because they were already doing drills, like the drill. It's marching and stuff. It's called drill. You're marching, left turn, right turn, reverse, all this stuff. Halftime. So I'm like going, how the hell do these people already know this stuff? Well, about 3 weeks into boot camp, I finally started asking, how the hell did you guys? Oh, we were here for like a week already. We're like, oh, okay.
Now, when you go into boot camp, when he calls you down, and then the next day you go in with the guys who have been doing this, what kind of shape are you in?
Oh, I'm in good shape.
Oh, you are in good shape.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Dude, I was running. Again, track. I mean, hell, I was doing a mile in less than 6 minutes. I mean, that was quick. I did. So when you first went in, after we got picked up, and we had to do like a placement test for running because they have different time frames. So I think I ran the mile and a half in 7.5 minutes. I was 160 pounds going into boot camp.
Wow.
That's the fastest I ever ran and never did it again.
Well, at least you could say you did it once.
I did it once. But So I learned what food was. And I was able to actually eat food, and I had a lot of carbs, and I gained 20 pounds in boot camp.
Did you really?
I went in 160, came out over 180.
Don't most people lose weight in boot camp?
Usually, yeah. But again, if you can eat, you know. But I wasn't working out as much either. In high school, I mean, I was working almost 3 times a day.
Well, you were playing football.
I was playing
track,
football.
And that would eat you alive.
Yeah, I had gym, I had football and track, and then I'd go to work, and after work, I'd go work out. So I was always working out. I mean, but so I went into boot camp in shape. I left boot camp out of shape.
Yeah, how crazy is that? There's not many people that could say that.
But I was still running 3 miles. I mean, my 3 miler was usually still under 20 minutes. You know, I think when I did in boot camp, the fastest when I got out was 18:30. That's still pretty quick.
Yeah.
I mean, but you know, again, when you do 7:30 in a mile and a half, which is, you know, it's almost a 15-minute 3 mile, and then I lost a lot of time. But I wasn't working out like I was. I was actually eating.
Yeah.
So, yeah. I mean, I was a scrawny kid, but yeah.
But you ate. You got to eat. You got bigger. I mean, you're jacked.
Nice.
I mean, you're jacked right now. I mean, it's not like you're a little guy, pal. And you're wide. You got that width. You're like him. You got that width. Just give me a little bit of width and height.
It's crazy what food does.
Yeah. Well, if it would make me fucking 3 inches taller, I'd have 17 pizzas here right now. I just want to be 5'11".
It makes you grow in a different way. It doesn't make you grow up. It makes you grow out.
This podcast is brought to you by Fume. That's Fume. Go to www.breathefume.com/elite. No smoke, no vape, and no harmful chemicals. Flavorful plant-packed cores to reduce cravings and support recovery. Enjoyable and comfortable. Who says smoking had to suck? I used to vape all the time, 4 or 5 cartridges a day. I tried out this Fume. At first, I thought no way possible, and I just kept with it for a couple of days, and I haven't vaped since. So it's a good product, and I fully support it. So go to www.breathefum.com/elite and use the code ELITE, ALITE, and get 10% off. Yeah, not the way I want. Next thing I know, I got to be, anyway. Yeah, my belt started to get tighter, and then there's a real problem.
Yeah, I know that feeling.
So now you're going, that boot camp sounds like it was a breeze for you.
It was. Boot camp, if you go in physically, all you got to worry is about the mental thing. Growing up where I grew up, the mental was not, like, whatever, dude.
Right.
So I had it all already. I laughed so much, I got in so much trouble. Because it was all funny to me. It was like, this is...
Because growing up, you were already going through it.
It's like, this is freaking hilarious. You can't touch me. I can do it.
Yeah.
So I think they need... I mean, I don't need dudes... People don't need to get beaten, but I think they need a physical altercation. I'm sorry.
I agree with you.
You're going to war. You're fighting for your country, and to be pandered the way our military is now, it's sad. I mean, I even thought... Again, I thought boot camp was weak. I mean, it was hard. It was tough. But... I still think it was weak. I think the DIs need to be able to do more hands-on, because if you know the DI can't do anything to you,
what do you give a crap?
Yeah, I don't give a shit. You can yell at me all you want. I really don't care.
Well, if you think it was kind of weak then, imagine what it's like now.
Yeah, I mean, they're still producing from some pretty good guys, but I think it's gonna be bad. I mean, our adversaries are training a lot harder. I think they're going to end up being. I don't think their training is as good. They're not as effective, but their mentality is a lot harder. Kind of like how the Greatest Generation was, where they just fought. They didn't care, but they fought for what they believed in. They would go days in, day out without food, without sleep. Where nowadays it seems like, besides the special forces and stuff, most Americans they can't handle going 4 hours without eating. Or
they can't handle 4 hours of sleep.
Yeah.
No, I mean, like, they go to bed and they don't get their 8 hours. They act like it's the end of the world.
Yep.
If I get 8 hours, I have the worst day of my life, because my body isn't like that. If I get 8 hours, I feel like crap all day long.
Yeah. So I mean, just over the weekend, I mean, I think I got 6 hours.
Yeah.
In 2 days.
And you don't have any bags under your eyes. You don't look like shit. You're perked. I mean,
so it's
mind.
Yeah.
It's in the fucking mind.
Life is life. You got to just keep moving forward. But again, when you start introducing stress cards in boot camp, you can't do that crap in combat. You're breeding an insufficient society, an insufficient fighting force, a weak one, a childish one. But it's just going to get worse, in my opinion.
And as a citizen, that scares me because I agree with you. I think and I'm saying this respectfully. I think you guys need slapped around because when you go to these other countries, what do you think? They're going to come and say, "Oh, it's okay. It's okay. Oh, you got an AK there? Can you just put it aside?" No, they're going to blow your head off.
Yeah, I'm going to throw my stress card up. You think they're going to stop?
Yeah. Like, what do they do in school now with I was watching.
Safe places?
What's that?
Safe place?
Safe place. That's what it is. What do you think of that?
Again. Okay, that's good for college kids.
Come to Benghazi and show me your safe place, pal.
But when you get back when you get back out to the real world, there's no safe place.
Yeah.
I mean, there isn't. So I don't know, man.
It's scary.
But no, I mean, I enjoyed the military. You know, I did 4 years in the infantry. Got stationed at one of the most beautiful, epic, majestic. What else can I say about it? Base there ever was. 29 Palms, the middle of Death Valley. There's no trees.
Where's that at?
Just rocks and sand. California.
Oh.
Or hell, whatever one you want.
Pretty close.
It was so freaking hot. I remember one time we were actually it's called the Egyptian Range. Maybe I might be racist now, but it was like 130 degrees. Our water was 150 degrees. We couldn't cool it down. So finally the medic shut it down because the medic, he can actually shut the range down. And he's like, he told the commander, "You need to stop." And he wouldn't stop. And he goes, "Nope, I'm throwing the flag up." And it's the only time in 4 years I ever actually had the medic, because dudes were actually starting to drop from heat exhaustion. But not only that, it can actually kill you because you're so freaking hot. The water's not cool enough to cool you down. He's like, if you can't get ice out here to cool the water down below like 100 degrees, I'm shutting your range down. And he ended up shutting it down because we weren't getting anything.
You guys would have overheated.
But dude, that was one of the most miserable times in 29 Palms. Besides the cold. Cold was when it was cold. Think of the desert, because every time you dig a fighting hole, which is a hole in the ground, you fight out of, and the wind, we were always facing the wind in the middle of the wintertime. It was always blowing right in your face, and you're just like, it gets cold in the desert.
And you're digging through ice and everything else, or
there's no ice, but the sand, the rocks, and stuff.
Yeah, Tom, there's ice in the fucking desert.
But it was so cold. It is so cold out there in the wintertime. But the training was awesome. All live fire, no blanks, no nothing like that. You can call for fire on jets, tanks, helicopters, artilleries, mortars. And as a platoon, as a squad leader, I was doing that. A lot of other infantry units, they don't get the chance to do that. Only really the ones out in 28 Palms do, because we had so much time in our hands, so much training, so much equipment, and it's there, and they need to train themselves, the ones the pilots and the artillery. So we'd go out there and be able to do that, and which normally a lot of squad leaders don't get a chance to do that. Usually it's on a higher level, but we got to. So it was cool, man. And then just doing the live fire, you're literally walking, you're shooting live rounds, probably 50 to 100 yards in front of people moving forward, and you have to move your fire, especially if you're a squad leader. You have to watch your squad, and you have to move their fire with their movement, because they can't really see them, so they're just like picking targets, because there's no enemy shooting at you. So you just got to tell you guys, okay, shift. So there's a lot of units that come out there in 29 Palms and they actually kill each other.
Really?
Because they're not used to doing live fire. They use all that, the fake blank stuff. So when they get out there, they get crazy, and not really crazy. Guys just lose their mind, and they just don't pay attention to what's going on because they're not used to it. So this living there sucked, but the training was awesome.
Taught you a lot.
Oh yeah, a lot, yeah.
What do you think about that? This is a little bit off, but what do you think about what's the guy the gun went off during the movie?
Alec Baldwin.
Yeah. What do you think about that?
I think they should put that gun in the museum, because it's the only gun in the history of the world that's ever killed somebody without somebody pulling the trigger. Man, I'm just saying. Here's my thing. Regardless if you're an actor, no matter who you are, and obviously he's anti-gun, but again, if you don't know the basic rules of a firearm, the 4 basic rules, they're very basic. He's at fault. I mean, you don't shoot it. You don't point your weapon at anything you don't intend to destroy. You keep your finger straight and off the trigger until you're ready to fire, and you keep your weapon pointed in a safe direction at all times, unless you're going to kill something. He failed all 4 rules. He never checked to see if it was loaded, but it doesn't matter if it was or wasn't. You still shouldn't be pointing the gun, and it's stupid. I mean, he is at fault. I don't care what anybody says. To sit there and say, "Well, I never pulled the trigger. I just cocked it back a little bit and let it go." Bullcrap. You can't do that. It takes a lot of force to fire a bullet. There's a lot of guns, especially like a lot of 3-gunners, or what I call them. They trick out their trigger, and they lighten up their spring on their hammer, which the hammer is what fires the bullet. They'll lighten it up so much that'll smack the bullet, but it won't go off because there's not enough force behind it. So to sit there and say, "Oh, I just pulled the hammer back and let it go and it went off," bullcrap. You pulled it back enough so you cocked it and pulled the freaking trigger is what you did, or you had the trigger pulled because you're stupid and you don't understand the fundamentals of a firearm. When you let go of that hammer, it just launched because there's nothing to stop it. The mechanism inside has been pulled, and he let go of the hammer and it fired.
But I didn't think they used live rounds in movies.
They're not supposed to have live rounds.
Do you think he was set up?
No, because from what I heard, they were actually out there doing live fire with those guns out there on the movie set at another location during a break.
That's insane.
And I think the round probably got left in that gun or in a box, and nobody checked it because half the set walked off because of safety. If I'm correct.
Yeah,
but
that's right.
But again, it doesn't matter if it was blanks or not. In Hollywood, you're not supposed to point a gun at anybody because the blanks still have projectiles that come out, and that's how Brandon Lee got killed.
Yeah, shit, I forgot about that one.
So again, that's where a lot of the rules came from with the firearms, was that incident with Brandon Lee. Like you can't point the gun directly at somebody. It looks like it is, but even with some of the the directors I've talked to, and even before that, like you can't point you have to point off to the side, even though it looks like I'm pointing at you, because they do trickery with.
Right, yeah, they got 17. They got the real cameras, so they got 17,000 cameras around, so they can make it look at any way that they want.
But there's a lot of movie sets that don't even use live guns anymore, and it's all was it called GFI or something like that? The graphic, anyways.
Yeah, it shoots out like a spark.
Well, you can't even tell. You think it looks real.
Yeah, it does look real.
So
yeah. I knew somebody that was in, and he used one, and it's just like a spark. You know what I mean? Like the fire comes out of it, but there's nothing. That's why I asked you, because I didn't think they ever use live rounds, and I would think a veteran actor like him would just over the years of acting would just routinely know to check it just to be sure. I mean,
especially if you think it's going to be a cold gun,
and the people, which I didn't know, were firing prior to that, having fun in the desert or whatever. Now you go to do a set, I sure as hell would check, right? I mean,
but live, they should never brought live rounds to their period. Yeah.
Yeah, I just want to ask you because you're.
But I think there's going to be multiple people that are going to be in trouble for it. But it's still, no matter what, it's ultimately on Alex's hands. It is. Whoever pulled the trigger, held the gun, pointed the gun, it's your fault regardless. And he's passing the blame. He's like, I don't feel guilty about it. Really?
Yeah, I saw him. He was on the other day. Did you see him?
Even if it's your fault or not, you feel no guilt whatsoever because you still pulled the trigger.
Yeah.
But that's those type of people, they just pass the buck. It's never their fault. Ever. I was drinking and driving. I killed them, but the car did it because the car is the one that had the gas pedal and the gas in the engine, and it went forward. I was just in the driver's seat. It's not my fault.
Yeah, and he's got a raunchy past too. He's had a little bit of problems with alcohol and everything else. So who the hell knows? But bad situation overall.
If it wasn't Alec, I might feel sorry for him, but I really just don't feel sorry for him. I feel sorry for the victim.
Yeah,
and their family, but
shame. What are you gonna do?
I'm gonna go have a drink, and then I'm gonna move on.
Me and you both, and we're gonna get back to TIG. Okay, so you do that, right? So now you get through that. Now, when do you become a security contractor?
So I got out of the Marine Corps, became a dependent because my wife, she was in the Army. So
tell that story because that is so amazing. You not only was she in the military, she was also a contractor for a couple of years too, as well.
Yep. So 9/11 happened, the first 9/11. And I remember where I was at. I was at home, but she was active duty Army, and I was actually working in heating and air conditioning. I was doing gas pipe installing the gas lines, and we were kind of figuring out. Actually, I went in to the recruiting office and said, "Hey, I want to go back in." Of course, they looked at I can able, but I had actually ended up getting a disability rating from the VA, and they looked like, "Nah, we don't really need you," because we had so many people coming in, so many people are signing up to join. There's like we're flooded, and you're already disabled. There's just no way. So okay, whatever. So I went back to do my gas piping stuff. She ended up getting stationed overseas in Kuwait. So I actually went from Washington to Colorado. Again, still doing heating and air conditioning. Then when she was over there's a company called CSA that was working at Camp Doha in Kuwait, and they were hiring. So we both filled it before she came back. We both filled it out, the resume, I don't know, whatever, and we both got accepted. So it was July of 2003. We both went over to Kuwait and started contracting. Stayed there for the full year, did the full contract. But while I was there, you started, looking for the contracts, because you hear about the big money. I mean, you're during pretty much the end of 03 and 04, 05. There's dudes, depends on what contract you're working on, we're almost making $90,000 a month.
I know.
But a lot of them never came home too. So I looked at that part too, like who are the company, who are they hiring doing this. We had a couple guys that worked, the contract I was working on. It wasn't really a high threat, but they were like admin, they were clerks, they were cooks, and they're going over there and being accepted for doing security work, like really high threat PSD security work. And I'm going, dude, I wouldn't do that. You're not. How much training are you gonna get? Oh, they're gonna go and they're gonna teach me for like 3 weeks. I'm going, you're stupid. You're gonna learn security 3 weeks, military. I'm like, you're dumb. Don't do it. Those are the ones who usually got whacked, but they're chasing the money. So I didn't do that. I didn't chase the money. I found Blackwater. Again, researched them, and obviously then you had the Blackwater Bridge incident with the 4 SEALs and stuff like that. But again, that was a whole. They ended up getting lost. I've heard the story about how it happened, but they had every protection. They had all the gear. They just wrong place, wrong time kind of a thing. So I, sent my application to them, got accepted, and that's kind of where it just went.
Isn't that amazing, man? How he meets 23 years of married. What's the tip on 23 years? How do you stay married 23 years?
Deploy a lot.
Every one of my friends that I ask, including you, they say, stay away from home. I swear to God. But you lasted.
Well, look what COVID did.
Yeah.
Everybody got locked in their houses with their spouse.
Mm-hmm. Suicide, drug addicts,
divorce,
alimony.
So
then they get that they see that alimony bill, and then they really put the clip in, and now you can only get 12, so they get 2 clips.
Yep.
To make sure. Because now that alimony fucking bill comes in, right?
So yeah, so I did.
That's cool. Congratulations on 23 years, by the way, too.
I appreciate it. So I did that, and then worked with Blackwater for quite a few years, and then I kind of weaseled my way into where I was at because the GRS you're supposed to have minimum 8 years Special Forces. I'm a 4-year grunt. I found out about what they're doing and stuff, and they say you can't, 4-year Marine, you can't do this. I'm like, okay, keep saying that. And so every time I'd go overseas, I would always, wherever they're at, I bugged the crap out of them, man. I was that cockroach that wouldn't go away, right?
I like that. So I like that about you. I like that. Oh, I can't do it? Okay.
Okay. Yeah. So, okay.
That's my kind of guy.
So finally they got, I think they just got tired of me.
But a lot of times that's what you got to do to get in.
And then they go. I remember they brought me in. They go, okay, this is we got some openings, and we're gonna let you go in, but if you don't make it, you leave us the freaking hell alone. I just remember that. They just said, if you don't make it, leave us the freaking hell alone.
Right. So we're gonna let you do this.
Yep.
And here's the deal, John Tig. If you don't make it, I never want to see your name in an email, call, text, voicemail, anything ever again.
Like we don't even want to see you.
Yeah. Well, for a while there, which we'll get to, you were fictional.
Yeah,
we'll get to that.
Yeah,
part, though.
so
Yeah.
I ended up going, and I made it. I almost didn't because I had to wear glasses at the time, and they had these. So you have to do room. You had to pretty much rescue your package, which is your package is your person you're protecting. So they gave me a mask. I couldn't wear my glasses. I'm like going, this is bullcrap, man. Because so two of so your package and one of the attackers had on almost the exact same outfit, except for the camouflage was just a little bit different. But you could tell if you were like close up, I could tell, but far away, I couldn't. So, and I told him, I was like, "This is bullcrap, man. I can't really see in the distance." So we go in, and you have the attacker and the package standing next to each other. It was a 50-50 thing. Well, I killed the package. And that's immediate dismissal. There's no second chance at all with them. I mean, you shoot the package, you're done. So I was like, you're done, and I went in and I was like, no, that's bullcrap. I did not have my glasses and look at these two. I mean, he kind of said the same thing. He's like, well, they should not have been that close dressed even without being able to see. So I was able to go in, and they ran me through the ringer to make sure I wasn't. I got ran through the ringer.
What they do? Tell me some of the things that.
Oh, just I had to do like 10 different scenarios where normally you have to do just a couple. I mean, I was going through, making because they wanted to make sure I wasn't lying about my glasses, and I never shot the package. So
can you give me like a run through of one of the things they made you do that was like?
Well, I just had to keep going in and saving the package.
Same thing. Okay.
It was different scenarios where, like, again, I was the only one. I had to keep on going through because they wanted to prove. I had to prove that I didn't shoot the package. So they kept amping up the scenarios and stuff like that, and trying to get me to. They were trying to get me to fail this time because I already shot the package. They're very serious about not shooting the package.
The wrong person?
I get it.
Yeah, the wrong person, you mean?
Yes, because, I mean, it's split-second decisions. I mean, you have to walk in. I mean, they had them wear the same thing that they did before, but they got me a mask to wear. Because what I'm saying about the mask, we use sim rounds. So they shoot it will cut you open if you shoot too close. I got cut open quite a bit, but it teaches, like, you know when you're hit. It's not paintball. It's a sim round. You actually use a real round, but it's got a paintball at the end of it. So
does it go in?
Yeah, no, but it'll bust your skin open. So you use an actual Glock or 9mm and AR, and all they do is it's just got a paintball at the end of it. So that's what they did. I mean, I ran through, and they go, okay, fine, okay, you made it.
I made it.
It was the glasses.
And your vision was what? You said it was like 21,000?
It was bad.
Mine was like that too. I was 20/11 hunter with an astigmatism. And when I went to get the laser surgery, the guy down here, the guy said if I would have waited like another year, it wouldn't have worked because it was so far gone. I couldn't see anything. Like I couldn't see that from here. I was like legally blind. Like technically I was. I was legally blind. I would have had, if I had contacts and I was at the max, but you couldn't get in it. I think I was minus 7.5 in contacts. And I went to get glasses, right? So, because they were progressively getting worse. So I thought, okay, well, glasses aren't that bad if you get, expensive ones. I can maybe make them look cool. So I go to get them and the lady sees how bad they are. And I'm like, I don't care how much, make them thin. And the lady's like, son.
You can't.
She's like, your vision is 1,200 or whatever it was. I can't thin them enough. They're still going to come out because I wanted like a thin, round thing. So there was no like, what do they call it? Coke, what is it called?
Yeah, your eyeballs look like they're like size of a football field.
What did you used to make fun of kids in high school for?
Coke bottle
glasses.
Coke bottle glasses.
Yeah, I mean that, and I said, "Fuck it, well then do it anyway. Let's see how thin they are." Oh no, and they came back 2 weeks later. It was the thinnest they could do. This is modern technology now, right? This isn't like 30 years ago, and still, I would have never ever gotten a girl in my entire life. I wouldn't have, and to not wear them, I would be blind and not be able to see if it was a girl or a guy.
They're better now.
Or something else.
That is funny.
So, Svenny, you passed the 10 test. Then what happens?
Well, then I just go overseas and start doing the contract thing, and Then 2012 ended up in Benghazi. Well, it ended up in Libya 2011. Then ended up in Benghazi in 2012.
And that's when the whole shit show started. I wanted to ask you about this because a friend of mine wrote the script to the movie War Dogs. Now he got destroyed. He was in jail at the time when he wrote it, so Universal totally screwed him. But he wrote the script to War Dogs.
Oh yeah, so anybody that wants to do the movie thing, they're going to screw you over. If you're not the actor director, they're going to screw you over.
Yeah, and he did, and he got screwed over. And I saw it I saw it. He wrote it, and I saw when he sent it. And he sued him and sued him and sued him, and then they offered him $20,000 at the end of the day. But all that Chinese ammunition that Deveroli was his name. Guy's name was Deveroli, and he was the one that was one of those contract things where the federal contracts, and at the time, any hoopla can get into it. Mm-hmm. So, and at the time, I guess you guys can't buy China bullets, right? Or any type
we don't use Chinese bullets or Russian bullets.
So they went to get the bullets, and they thought that they weren't Chinese bullets, so they get them, pay for them or whatever they did. They have a deadline, and they try to scratch off the markings. Well, they couldn't get them all off, and they, long story short, they figure out that it was Chinese bullets, and Deveroli, that's the guy's real name, ended up in jail with the guy who wrote the synopsis to the movie. Am I saying that right, Rob?
Yeah, Matt wrote the...
Yeah, Matthew Cox.
Wrote the...
Yeah, and he got screwed.
Yeah. No, we got screwed out of our movie, too.
Were you in the military at that time when that whole Chinese bullet thing happened?
I don't know when it happened. I was in 95 to 99.
Okay. I'd have to ask.
No, because our biggest thing is it just wasn't trustworthy. We'd use it for training, but for when we went out and did stuff, we never had it. We had just good old-fashioned green tip military.
So now lay out the in the 2012 when Benghazi starts. So what happens? So now you're in Benghazi.
Yep. So
take me from there.
So again, I was on my it was my third trip in Benghazi. Stuff actually was calming down. It wasn't. You didn't hear as much gunfire and explosion out in town. People were actually starting to live their lives. A lot better. Shops are opening up and stuff like that. But what was going on was the elections also. So, terrorists, they don't like it. They were going around like bombing local government facilities, kidnapping people, assassinating people, from police chiefs. I mean, just about anybody they can get a hold of, they were doing it. Iran, they sent a bunch of their spec op people out there and stuff like that. And so there was more like I'm gonna say more like Chicago mob mentality. Also, just that kind of environment without any law enforcement.
Yeah.
So it was controlled by militias. And not like the militias that they call militias here, but actual militias and stuff like that, and just neighborhoods had their own checkpoints. So that's what was kind of going on. But for us Americans, that really wasn't a threat from the locals. It really wasn't. That's the only country where I've been to where they would actually shake your hand, say, I'm glad you guys are here. It's proud to meet it. And an American. It's the only place I ever told anybody I was an American. Everywhere else, I'm like Canadian or Brit or something.
Really?
Oh yeah, because they found out you're American, they'll try to kidnap you, kill you. They didn't like us.
Ransom.
Yeah, especially in Pakistan, which was the worst, because even though we give them billions of dollars a year, billions of dollars, they hate Americans.
And why do we give them billions of dollars a year again?
Because they hate us.
Oh, that's a good reason.
We're trying to buy their love, like we do our wives, and just trying to buy them.
So that they could take those billions and get military.
Yeah, well, and they give it to the Taliban and
great.
stuff like that.
Oh, let's give them some more billions.
Well, that's why they had Bin Laden, right? So, I mean, that's what they do.
Take him out did anything, right?
So when here's my squirrel moment. So we're building a brand new embassy in Pakistan. So we took $1 billion of the money we were going to give them to build our embassy. Dude, the Pakistani locals were pissed and protesting and went insane. It was, just mobs, and it took them a while to calm down, but it was just like, you're pissed off because we're taking the money we're going to give you. This is just dumb. Why we even giving you money?
In the first place.
In the first place.
Right.
So anyways, they would buy us coffee. I went into an electronics store, just looking around, just trying to get the atmospherics around, just trying to get the feel. They're trying to buy us TVs and all. And we're like, no, we can't. No, we don't want it. But that's how they were. It was they're very grateful that we killed Gaddafi. Help, not really, just push Gaddafi out. They hated Gaddafi in Benghazi. Tripoli a little bit different. Benghazi, they hated Gaddafi, but that's kind of the environment. And,
was it modernish?
Oh yeah,
was it? Really?
It was pretty modern, nice. They concrete houses. They don't really use wood. It's more concrete because it actually stays cooler. It's a little bit hot there.
But did they have like McDonald's and stuff like that?
They had McDonald's, Pizza Hut, all that stuff. Yeah, I mean they had pretty much everything that we got here, really, for the most part. So
I don't know, yeah.
It's just not as convenient and fluid and constant, I guess I would say. Because there's sometimes we'd go to a restaurant and like, well, we don't have this, or it's outdated. Ketchup, be very, very careful of the ketchup.
Why is that?
Because they had it for so long, or I've had some really bad ketchup before. Just the weirdest things, just weirdest stuff,
So they don't like ketchup. It just sits around.
Or because how we would fill, there's a lot of restaurants, they refill the ketchup bottle, but they kind of rotate. They don't rotate. That's kind of what I'm saying. There's like no health standards, I guess, is what I should say.
Sorry, going on the McDonald's topic over there. It's crazy. I didn't realize they had McDonald's over there.
Oh, yeah.
That's what I was.
Yeah, they have drive-through McDonald's.
Really?
They're over there.
I thought it was nothing like that at all.
Yeah, I expected different too. What was like their? Because every McDonald's across the world has something like burgers, but what was like something different on their menu that you might have tried? You try anything different?
It's all the same.
Really?
Yeah. Just like going to Kuwait and all the other places, they have it. I think the only thing that tastes different was sodas.
Yeah.
So when I went to Kuwait, I stopped drinking sodas. I was like a Mountain Dew drinker. Heavy Mountain Dew drinker. And I got to Kuwait, it just tastes like crap. Maybe I think
watered down.
I think they use real sugar, so it's just weird where we use the fake stuff. I don't know.
Yeah.
But I quit really drinking soda.
Coca-Cola's like that. Coca-Cola is different all across the world. I went to a Coca-Cola in Orlando. They have a Coca-Cola shop in Orlando, and you could try Coke from all over the world. It tastes different in Japan. It tastes different.
Ain't that weird?
The taste, because people, I guess, in those countries have maybe the ingredients, maybe what they like, but like some of them were awful, and some of them were like, wow, better than the Coke we have here. I'm like, geez.
Genetic, maybe it's a genetic thing. Like their taste buds are different.
Yeah.
I don't.
But the food itself tasted the same.
Wow, I would have never thought that.
Yeah.
Okay, so keep on with the fun time you had in Benghazi.
Hell, we'd go out. Actually, there's a couple times we went fishing.
Really?
Yeah, we'd go to we'd even go out and we'd go swimming in the.
I did not expect to hear
the
this.
Gulf. Yeah.
Fuck.
We tour the ruins, the Roman ruins. Freaking awesome. We actually they would let us do anything. I don't know how many ruins I climbed up on.
Yeah,
it was pretty cool. Climbed up, find holes. I just go in a hole. Like, of course, I'd be taking pictures, waiting to see a ghost. Never saw a damn ghost.
Did you see a ghost?
No, I didn't see a ghost.
We were going to call. If you saw a ghost, I was going to call Bobby Shaz.
I was very disappointed. I was hoping to see a ghost. Because I was taking pictures. That's what I wanted to see. Like, flash. No ghost.
Just a lot of gunfire later on.
But it was pretty cool stuff, man. So I had some fun. Of course, we're always carrying. We're always, we had a body armor on all the time. But for the most part, it was safe. But you take precautions. Again, the locals, they would guide us around. Let's go here, go here, go here, go here.
It's so crazy to hear that from you because they portrayed it like it's like you're in Afghanistan. That's how it's portrayed in the media. From an outsider watching it, I don't know how he felt, but it was portrayed to me, in my opinion, as like Afghanistan, where if you're walking down the street, that little 2-year-old has an AK and knows how to fire it and actually aim.
That'd be more Iraq really than Afghanistan.
Or Iraq.
But yeah, I see what you're saying.
That's the picture that was painted to me personally. Did you get that kind of comprehension out of that?
Yeah, I just imagine like every time you're walking down the street, again, you have to always be on alert, but I'm saying like a kid would blow himself up or
like suicide bombers. Like I thought you would be dealing with that the whole time there.
I didn't think about McDonald's or air conditioning or any of that.
Pizza joints. We go in restaurants, sit down. We did the same thing in Afghanistan, but in Afghanistan, I only did 2 trips in Iraq. So Afghanistan's what I can like really compare it to. So I was never comfortable walking around in Afghanistan, not once. And just because of that, I mean, you always got the stink eye and stuff like that. You know,
What's a stink guy?
just people just looking at you. You know, you can tell
Get that
like,
instinct.
they don't like you.
Mm-hmm.
It was just a different environment, even though we came in, but seeing what happened, they only understand the Iron Fist, which after 20 years you think they would want more freedom, but it just seems like they just totally gave up, you know, when the disastrous pullout that we did. But the Libyans, I mean, it was just totally different. I mean, you had your enemies there. I mean, not everybody liked you, but I would say probably, especially in Benghazi, Misrata, and some other locations you went to, dude, they found out you're American. It was like, holy crap. They come shake your. It was just weird. It was, yeah.
Not really a place you want to be.
No, that's where I would be versus Afghanistan or anywhere else.
Oh, okay.
I think, yeah. I mean, we'd take vehicles. It was just pretty laid back, but the threat was always there because we're really close to Egypt and all this stuff, and you know, a lot of stuff in the desert that was going on, getting anti-American. So you always had to watch your back. So kind of fast forward again, my 3rd trip out there, you know, going there. All of us that were there that day, it was only about 30 days. We actually all worked with each other. It was all brand new crew. The initial crew, they ended up going somewhere else. Can't really say, but we called it the Golden Visa. So they went somewhere else, and I was the only one. Thank goodness that my visa expired because I hated that place. So I went back. So again, all new crew, team lead, everything. Just everybody's new. 30 days, and then 9/11 it happened. You know, we knew the ambassador was coming in, and for us it was kind of, we always thought it was kind of a weird time for him to be coming in, but a lot of it had to do with it was being rushed because Hillary was supposed to be coming out in October to look at the embassy and look at the new consulate. That was the consulate grounds that we were actually picking out for the new consulate in Benghazi. So prior to the ambassador coming out, I was me and one of the other, I think it was myself and Oz, was in charge of escorting I don't know, I forgot what they're called, but they were looking at different facilities and seeing which one was viable, you know, doing the threat assessment, you know, hide roads, all this stuff, building locations or empty property, you know, what's around, so all kinds of stuff they were looking at. So when the ambassador came in, actually it was kind of funny. We had a lot more people there, but that morning they all left on morning of 9/11. It was the weirdest. I mean, the timing couldn't have been better because there was so many people that were there before that day, and the ambassador comes in. We all just kind of thought it was weird, and we found out he's only come with 3 extra security guys, and only had 2 on the ground. Like, okay, and this is going to be a weird assessment. And we had to go. Also, prior to him coming in, we had to go do an advance on a school that he was going to visit, just to kind of get the insides and you know, escape routes. Where's the hard point? You know, entry, exit, all the. It was a crappy situation. There was no hard point. So hard point is like a highly defendable position where you almost had like only one way to get in. There's nothing in this school. It was crappy. So. And it was going to be public. So everybody knew he was going to be there, but I think it was going to be announced. I think it actually got announced like the day he came in where he was going to be on the 13th.
Now, at this point, are you thinking setup at all?
Oh, yeah, we thought.
That's just you telling me, and I'm nothing. I'm thinking setup.
That's where we thought he was going to get hit. We really did. We thought, we knew he was going to get attacked, but we thought it was going to be there, not actually at the consulate. Because the consulate, I mean, it wasn't really a soft target, but... Yeah, I mean, that location, maybe they just didn't have time to because I guess, you know, it only gave him like a day or two to actually go in and recon it and assess it and see how they're going to attack it, maneuver it. They had to do their own planning too
to make their move.
Yeah.
Right.
So, but it was a crappy situation. We're like, God, this is going to suck. So that's where we thought he was going to get hit. Obviously, it didn't happen. The ambassador, he came over to our compound the night before, kind of give his rundown of Libya and Benghazi and the elections. He's saying how the security situation was deteriorating. Just because of the elections. I mean, they're assassinating people, killing people. Terrorists are starting to move in. They actually owned a city. I can't remember the name of it. Just to the east of Benghazi, right, before Egypt, and they actually had a big terrorist training camps out there and stuff like that. So they're starting to make their move. The country was still in turmoil, didn't really have a military quite yet. They were trying to work on it. So obviously terrorists, they're going to take advantage of it. And so that's what he's kind of telling us, just going through that.
Now, when the guy comes in and he doesn't get whacked, what are you thinking now? As an you're the most experienced.
So they didn't know he was coming in. Initially, they didn't know when he was coming in.
Right, but when he gets in and they don't kill him where you think they're gonna, or they don't take a shot where you think that they are, or your instinct is telling you like, this is probably where he's gonna get hit.
Well, again, so that wasn't supposed to happen until the 13th.
Okay.
So that's the thing. So we were expecting it to happen on the 13th.
Okay.
So on 9/11, again, myself and Rome were supposed to take the ambassador to a meeting on the 12th at the Persian Oil Golf Company, and nobody knew where it was. Knew where it was at. Just the State Department guys didn't know, because half of them guys, they don't even have a turnover. Their new guy comes in, and they leave the same day. We don't do that. We have a turnover, so we know what we're doing, where we're going. They told me. They told me it was, and we never went there. And I was like, I think I know what they're talking about. So myself and Roan, we went out. It was probably about 8:30 or something like that. We drive by the consulate, and just a habit, we always look down the road, because the consulate's down there. We just kind of look, and nothing's going on. We go out, we find the location, we drive our route that we're going to take the next morning, and as on our way back, we call them saying, hey, we know our route. Do you want us to come in? We know where it's at. We know our route. Do you want us to come in now, or do you want to wait till the morning? They said, hey, let's wait till the morning. So it's either a good thing or a bad thing. Who knows? Because we would have fired our guns. They didn't. I don't know. So on the way back, it's about 9 o'clock now. So we drive right by the consulate. It actually would have been on our left-hand side as we're going back to our compound. We look over. Well, I did. He was driving. Roan was driving. I wasn't. And so I remember looking down the street, all quiet, nothing on the road. Again, 9 o'clock, nothing on the road. Go back to our compound, let our team leader know what we're going to be doing. I go and hit off to bed.
Now, what's the time difference between U.S. and Benghazi?
Oh, crap, I have no idea. I have to look at my phone.
Because I had asked this because when it gets nasty, I was just curious to know.
I think it's like it's in the afternoon here.
Okay.
It's I think it's like an 8-hour difference or 6 hours or something like that. I don't really know.
I would assume when you're in that situation, you're not really worried about what the fuck the time is.
Never
in the US.
do.
You know what I mean? I mean, you're kind of in it. You're kind of occupied at the moment, right?
Yeah. So, but I think it's like in the afternoon time in the DC.
Okay.
So I go back in my room, getting ready to go to bed. And the team leader comes on the radio and says, I need all GRS to the team room. Just like that. Calm. Okay. So I'm thinking, we're thinking Tonto probably screwed up, or the mission changed for the ambassador in the morning. Maybe they canceled it or something, or we need everybody to go with them. I don't know. So I'm starting to get dressed again. He comes back on the radio a little bit more urgent. And so Jack, he's in the bed talking with his wife. And he was, I can kind of hear what's going on, but he just found out his wife was pregnant.
Oh shit!
Right? So I go out and meet with the team leader in between the buildings and said, hey, the consulate's been overrun. Now again, not that it's being attacked,
just overrun.
It's overrun.
Yeah.
Again,
now
they say it's 9. Again, they're saying we got the call at 9:32. Me and Roan just went by the consulate around 9 o'clock. So within 32 minutes, they'd overrun the consulate.
Wow.
And they said it was a protest.
Mm.
So here's my first sign. So
now right then and there, what are you thinking in your mind?
We got to get ready.
Okay.
That's it. We got to get ready. So I run back, tell Jack we get, our gears in there, our guns in there, run back, get in. So we have a QRF, quick reaction force, and that's Tonto and Boone. So in Roan, they both all three of those guys, they get the cars ready. So they're staged by the time me and Jack get out of the build, out of our berthing, running. I drop my M4 in the car, going to the team room, and I had my original body armor, but we have also, I call it the battle rattle. So it has side body armor. Normally it's just the front plates. So this one had the side body armor. I was like, you know what? If we roll into this thing, so I took mine off, put that one on. Same amount of mags, but just side plates, a lot heavier body armor. I grabbed the grenade launcher, grabbed the machine gun, and go to the car. So we're sitting in there. The State Department guys and Tonto. We kind of they're starting to kind of talk on the radio. Tonto gets said, "Hey, we're ready to go." Well, that's when we got told to wait the first time.
Okay, now when they say wait, what are you thinking now?
Wait's just wait.
So you're just thinking, okay, you have the same mindset. You're just waiting.
Yeah, we're just
not
waiting.
Thinking anything more
Because we're getting ready. We have to link up with the militia that's in charge of their security. We don't know, again, trying to get their connection and stuff like that. So again, we don't have a blue on green firefight. So that's kind of what I'm thinking. That's pretty much what Jack said he was thinking and stuff like that. So we're sitting there, and the State Department guys, they're all over the radio. Well, the one guy is. He's on the radio talking, and you're sitting there. The more time you give the enemy, is the more time you're giving them to dig in. They're getting their positions solidified, and they're getting their high ground. I'm thinking tactically. So I get out of the car, and I got the chief of base and the deputy chief and the team lead on the front porch, and I'm going, hey, we need to get over there. We're losing the initiative. Bob looks directly at me, says, stand down. You need to wait.
Now, when you say initiative, what do you mean by initiative?
We're losing the surprise. We're losing the ability to overtake the enemy because
like shock value.
Yeah, it's shock value, but they're allowing them, again, like I was saying, to get that foothold and solidify it, make it a solid foothold. We're losing the initiative.
Oh, I see.
To where if we
set up,
because right now they're still fluid. They're still moving around. They're trying to figure out what they're going to do. I mean, if they're overtaking the consulate, and from we hear, it's 50 to 100 people that attack the consulate. So to allow them to get a foothold and a stronghold and solidify their fighting positions, we're losing the initiative. It's going to make it 1,000 times harder for us to get in there. So again, he goes, you need to come up with a plan, and by then it's like we can't come up with a plan without getting eyes on. We have to see what's going on because they have no communication. It was a lot of cuss words going on. Because
you can swear all you want.
Well, I know, but it was just a lot going on because I'm the type, I'm pretty quiet. Well, I used to be. So I never said a whole lot, but when I have to, I had to. And to me, it was like the point, okay, I'm not going to be quiet. And I was pretty pissed off because, again, you lose the element of surprise. They're going to start expecting you. The more longer you wait, again, they're going to solidify their fighting position. So, again, stand-down order was given. No matter how you want to take it, we knew who Bob was. I don't think it came from Hillary Clinton. No. That stand-down order, the one that I know 100% of, did not come from her. It didn't come from our chief of station up in Tripoli. It came from Bob, and Bob alone is just who he was. On multiple occasions, again, this is my third trip with this dude. On multiple occasions, I mean, he would not allow us to leave. Luckily, nothing ever happened, but this time it did. 2 people died because he made us stay. He didn't let us leave. If you watch the movie with the part with Roan and Jack getting held up at a checkpoint, it really wasn't Jack wasn't in the car. It was actually Roan and another individual. They got held at that checkpoint for over 2 hours at gunpoint. We were 45 minutes away. And we asked to leave. Again, we don't go in guns blazing. We're not stupid. This ain't freaking Hollywood. This is reality of life. We go in and we watch and we get eyes on and assess the situation. Then we come up with a plan of what we may or may not do. So we're right there if something goes south. That's the whole point.
Because this is life and death, and you have
Yeah.
to have a strategy.
Exactly.
You can't just go in there holding the trigger down.
Well, you can't just go into the blaze of glory like Hollywood does.
Yeah.
Again, it's reality. It's
Yeah.
not Hollywood.
Yeah.
So we go in, we get eyes on, we assess the situation. And same thing here. We have to go in, get eyes on, and see where we can go in at. I mean, there could have been 10,000 freaking dudes, and we might not be able to do anything. We didn't know until we got there. So they get back in the car. I'll let Jack and Roan know, and you can just tell. We knew we weren't going to go. We're just sitting there, and they start getting on the radio again more and more and to say, hey, they're lighting the buildings on fire, and, we need help. So for us, the last straw was when they came over the radio pretty much for the final time. They said, if you guys don't get here now, we're going to fucking die. That's literally what they said. And again, for us, job be damn. Screw my job. We know we're the only help that they have. We know we're the only ones that can truly go in and rescue them. You got a militia called 17th February Martyrs Brigade. They're not very well trained. They don't know how to do hostage, because they're hostages now. They're not hostage. They don't know how to do hostage rescue, and they're just trigger happy individuals. They're not trained to do that. We are. That is what we're hired to do, to go rescue pretty much agency personnel if they get captured, and we protect them. But also, I mean, obviously, I just talked about why I almost didn't get to do my job, because I shot the package to going in and rescuing him.
Right.
That's their hard. I mean, that's what they hired us to do, to rescue their.
And that's why they made you do it 10 times over again.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we said, screw it, we're leaving. And we started pulling away. Our team leader finally said, I'm coming. He gets in the vehicle. We actually pulled off to the side. We're the lead vehicle, pulled off the side and allowed them to bypass us, and they go in. We get to the corner. The consulate, there's already some guys there. I get out of the car. I move up to the corner. I lob the grenade, three rounds of the grenade launcher, and pretty much that ended because when we first got there, I was backtrack. There was a firefight between the militia guys that were there and the guys who were down at the embassy or the consulate. So that's why I went up with the grenade launcher, lobbed the rounds, and then when I go up for the fourth round, they were gone. They had disappeared. Went back. So if you watch the movie,
I've watched it many times.
For everybody that's listening, if you watch the movie, I did not lose the grenade launcher. Marines don't lose a force multiplier piece of equipment. I put it back inside the vehicle that we drove over to the consulate in an armored vehicle because it would be safe and secure.
Did you know that they were going to have that in the movie before it was released? You didn't?
No, we can go into that if we have time, about the whole script.
Play a clip from the movie. I have a little clip. It's a good movie.
I really haven't seen. I don't remember the movie at all.
Don't you?
Nope. I watched it once and that was it.
All right, check this out, Tig.
Mm-hmm.
Libyan visa. Official. Pull over for inspection. Sorry, sir, I can't do that. Pull over for inspection. How willing are you to die for your country? I'm gonna go right here, right now. State's under attack. Let's go, man. State's under attack. Let's go. We got a wall. If you're not here soon, or you're all gonna die. We have a U.S. ambassador at risk.
The ambassador is in his safe haven. You are not the first responders. You're the last resort.
I called for support. I never came.
You're not giving orders anymore. You're in my world now. We have 36 American lives to save.
That's your movie.
Yep.
Did you get to pick the actors at all?
No, God, no. So actually, a lot of us thought that when they picked Max Martini, it was going to be me.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, it ended up being us. But, yeah, so, I don't know where I was at. Oh yeah, so I put the grenade launcher in.
I keep thinking grenade launcher and how cool that must have been. Not the situation, but cool to launch a grenade
You
launcher.
know,
I'm like a little kid with that kind of shit.
So I did they got this thing in the Marine Corps called Super Squad. So they take like the best of the guys and they put them in the squad and you go against the rest of the Marine Corps. So I ended up being a 203 gunner. So I learned a lot about that. We call it a thumper. So
I would guess
so being able to actually
the
use
thumper.
So actually being able to use that thing in an actual live fire, true combat situation, dude, it was epic. Don't get me wrong, I did have say hello to my little friend in my head.
Yeah,
I didn't say it,
That's awesome, too.
but I had it in my head.
You're the man.
Because you have, I mean, it's Scarface, and you got to do the thumper, you know.
Hold it up now. Say it.
See?
Say
Say hello to my little friend.
5 stars.
So it did go through my head, but and it was kind of cool. A lot of guys were pissed off at me because I got to actually use it
Yeah.
in the combat. So it was kind of funny. Even a lot of SEALs saying, "You're such a dick."
You got to use it, and I did.
I was in SEALs for 20 years. No, anyways.
How much does that kick? I gotta ask.
Oh, it's like less than a shotgun.
Really?
Yeah, it
Oh,
might,
I thought
might be as much.
I thought that'd be like black and blue mark shoulder.
Yeah, I would say it's about a 12 gauge.
I still thought it would kick way more than that.
Yeah, no, yeah.
Well,
So.
anyway,
But so I went back, dropped that off, got my M4, got the machine gun, belt-fed machine gun. Myself, Roan, and Jack, we made our way down, get onto the constant grounds, and I just remember walking through that front gate. Just like the movies. I mean, it wasn't really flames as bad, but you saw there was flames coming out some of the windows, and not really the front door, but thick black smoke. You had the spotlights, kind of like the lights in here, but you can barely see them. You can just kind of see the light coming through because that's how thick the black smoke was. Because the when they paint, they dilute the paint with diesel fuel.
ooh,
So you got the
good move though.
yeah.
I mean, hey, good move's a good move,
Yeah.
and
So that's how what they use to dilute the paint over there, and they it goes further. I guess it sticks to the wall. I don't really know why.
well, it's not good. Not good when you're shooting fire at it.
No, when it catches fire, it catches fire. And it doesn't.
I would
blow.
assume that might make a little bit of a boom after a while,
No, it just burns thick black.
or just thick black, whatever.
So so that's what we're seeing. We're going on. But I'm moving on, and I look off to the right. And that's the 17 Fed barracks. It's just that it had flames coming out the windows and thick black. That building was completely engulfed. The vehicles, there was 2 vehicles underneath the carport. They were just pretty much just the frame. Another one from the building, almost down to the frame. But the funny thing was, there's again a local. He's just walking from there, just like nonchalant, like nothing's going on. He's just bebopping, and I'm just kind of looking. No gun,
headphones in or something.
He maybe he was. Maybe he got some
Maybe it's blind and deaf.
AirPods, whatever they call those things, in his earballs, and so of course I got the belt fed. I'm coming in. It's up. It's not down. Like I'm a cool patrol. I'm up.
You're ready.
I'm ready to go. And I see him. Of course, I point the gun at him, and no. So he didn't do anything. No gun. No nothing. Because I just saw him. So I'm pointing. I don't know what his threat level is. He didn't throw up his arms. He just kept on walking. Like, okay, dude, whatever, and no threats. I was like, okay, whatever. So I just bypass him because I'm walking, I'm moving, I'm checking left and right, in front of me as much as possible. So the grounds, it's like an orchard. You have grapevines. I mean, they make wine out of the grapes there. So they had all the grapevines. They had peach trees, apple trees, coconut, whatever. I mean, they had whatever. I mean, it's $1 million freaking compound.
It almost sounds like they have like everything possible in your way to see anything.
Yeah. Everything was in the way. So, but if you put your NVGs on, again, they had spotlights that were also pointed in, not just out. So it's like you can't use your night vision goggles.
You're getting like triple whammy, Tig.
Yeah, it is great. And so as I'm moving forward, I got to keep looking back, checking this dude out because I don't know who the guy is. And I'm going, Roan and Jack, they're already way up in front. So I get out there. I stand outside in front of the villa, and I can just hear banging going on inside the main villa. And so I'm just like, okay, they're searching, they're clearing, and I'm just kind of sitting out there. It felt like forever, right? And I hear a vehicle start. So State Department's still not communicating on the radio. because before we got on, I said, "Hey, we're coming onto the compound."
No reply.
No reply. So as I'm sitting, and I hear a vehicle start, I'm like going, "Okay, this is gonna be fun." I got a belt-fed machine gun. I got a vehicle coming, and I'm thinking this is gonna be awesome. I get to shoot a $500,000 government vehicle. It's up armored. I get to just obliterate it and not get in trouble.
Sounds like a good time, right?
It is. I'm like going, okay, here we go. So it starts coming. I'm like standing right there. I got it up, and I'm pulling the slack out. I mean, you can feel when the machine gun. I mean, that point, like, okay. So it comes, it turns. You got the spotlight from the. It was on the corner. It's not. So the villa had two separate like buildings. They had like a quarters for the laundry and the maid and stuff like that. So that building wasn't on fire, so it had a spotlight. So it was shining down towards where the car was coming. It was an SUV. It turns a corner, dude, and I'm like I'm bracing because this is gonna be fun, right? And next thing you know, the light hits, and then I see Dave Ubin. I'm like, damn it,
You didn't get to do it.
didn't get to do it. Okay. So they pull up, and I just kind of follow them up because I don't know what's going on. There's no radio communication going on.
Now, why was there no radio communication? Did you ever find out?
They just, I don't.
Or
It's just the State
spin
Department, I guess. I mean, they don't know how to communicate. I mean, they got the cameras. We don't. So
the State Department could see what the hell's going on. Obviously, something's about to go down.
Yeah.
Right? They can see this.
Yep.
And no radio communication.
No radio. Well,
What was their excuse?
I've never asked.
They didn't even give you a bullshit excuse?
We talked to them a little bit, but we never asked them. But my thing is, when I lobbed those grenade launchers, so people have got they got the security footage of the consulate, so they know wasn't a protest within a week. Because by the time we got back, they already had the footage. Wait, no, we went back and went home, then I came back. So, but anyways, they had the footage. So when I lobbed the grenade, the thumper, when the first round hit is when they all took off. They said it was like when you throw a piece of bread down and cockroaches are all on it with the lights off, turn the lights on, they whoop.
Yeah.
So that's pretty much what they did. They scattered. They were tripping all over each other because they didn't know what it was. Because you hear the thump, and when that thing it's a different explosion than a mortar or anything else. So if they don't understand it, they get scared of it.
Because they don't know what it is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they don't know where it was coming from. So, but again, if the State Department had got on the radio and said, "Hey, they've all taken off," we could have jumped in our vehicles and driven in there because it took us time. We didn't like get on the road and sprint. So when we got there, it took us another 30 minutes, from the very beginning when we got to that corner to get onto the compound.
And going back in 32 minutes, they took out.
So you're looking at an hour.
Right. But prior when we were talking, you were there at 9, it was dead. By 9:32,
it was attacked.
Okay, so now you got a 45-minute drive, 30 to 45 minutes.
No, not drive. No, it was only it was about a 2-mile drive.
Oh, I thought you said you had 30 minutes to go.
No, so on foot, because we were walking slow. We're not running. We're walking slow because it's so many dark spots. Again, the consulate had the spotlights.
That light's killing
it was facing towards us, so we couldn't use our night vision goggles. I want to live.
Right.
So they also had a lot of construction. So when we hit a construction site, we dove into that and moved forward. Okay. And then when we hit the wall, we pop out and move forward.
Fine.
So, but it was tactical movement. I mean, we're not sprinting. So it took time for us to get there. So if they would have said, "Hey, they all left," we'd jump in our vehicles and we did him out down there, and
in and out, right?
So by the time I get up there, and that's when I link up with Rowan again. He's on the front porch of the main villa, and we're sitting there talking. And as we're talking, I'm kind of looking off to the left, and they just pulled somebody out. Well, they ended up being Sean Smith. And I didn't recognize him. It was pretty dark, and I look and say, "Hey, is that one of our guys?" And he goes, "No, it's not." He goes, "I sure the hell hope it's one of them." Unfortunately, it wasn't. It was Sean Smith. So we go in, we start clearing the main villa. We didn't really get in a whole lot. I mean, it was thick black smoke. I ended up the last time I went, not the second to last time I went in, I had the layout of the villa in my head because I've been there the longest, and I walked it and stuff. I just didn't know the layout of the safe room, where everybody's birthing area was. There's no reason for me to go in their freaking rooms. But so I kind of maneuvered my way, got to the safe room gate, and I yelled for Chris 3 times as loud as I could. No answer. I come back out. Well, I mean, that tells you 2 things: either he's dead or he's not in there. I mean, it's plain and simple.
It's one of 2 things.
Yeah,
There's no other.
I moved back out. Roan, he got lost. He's inside the villa. He's stuck. He's yelling, "Hey, I'm lost! I'm lost!" I go back in. We do the Marco Polo thing till we find each other, and then we come back out. And this is about the time when Tonto and Boone, they're at the back gate saying, "Hey, is it clear?" We don't know because, again, we don't see this field. So we move over to where we can actually get some eyes on the field as much as possible. He jumps over the gate, ends up going back, opening the gate, Tonto did, for the locals. I guess the 17 Feb guys. So we're assuming we're 17 Feb. We don't know who any of these people are. So
that's great.
We're just assuming they're 17 Feb. They got guns. They're following us.
Man. Assuming other country,
but you can't.
Guns.
You just can't kill people.
Right? No, I understand.
I mean, we're professionals.
Right? No, I understand.
We're not Navy. We don't just kill people.
You don't just start blasting.
So these guys, I guess they can't jump the gate, or I don't know, whatever it is. Maybe they could have been the setup for the counter assault. So Tonto opens the gate for him and says, "Hey, when you guys come in, make sure you close the gate." Well, being over there for so long, when you're talking to somebody and they're nodding their head, "Yes, sir, yes, sir," they have no idea what the hell you're saying.
They're just going like that.
Yeah,
right.
They're just going. So that happens. We clear the other side of the compound as much as we could. We get the sensitive information. We come back. We start searching. And during the search, our team lead, because it'd been a while, our team lead gathers the State Department guys together and said, "Hey, okay, we're gonna get you guys out of here. When you guys leave, make sure you go to the left. Don't go to the right." So okay, they do the Durka. I'm gonna nod your head, "Yes, sir, yes, sir." Yeah, I'm just kidding, but not.
I know.
So I'm in there. I'm actually, that thing. I don't know if they still do, but in like elementary school, the firefighters come in and they tell you what to do during a fire. You get down on your belly, you crawl out. Well,
they did it when I was in school. Who the hell knows if they do it now?
Well, I know they did it when I was in school, so it kind of popped in my head finally. So
you did get something out of school.
My brain actually started to kick in and say, "Take off your damn gear." So I did. I took my gear off, got on my belly, and I said, "Holy crap, it is true." So it is true. If you get on your belly, you'll be underneath the smoke and you actually see. So I really wish I did in the very beginning, but I mean, your adrenaline's pumping. You're just trying to get things done and go.
And you have to be thinking so many things at the same time. And
oh yeah,
accuracy has to be accuracy. There's no room for error.
Yep. So I'm in there. I'm by myself in this building. Because of course I tell the team leader, "Hey, I'm gonna go in one more time." He says, "No, you need to wait." Or wait or something. He said something like that. I'm like going, "I'm not waiting." So I took all my gear off and I went in.
Love it.
And I obey orders very well. So as I'm crawling around, the counter assault happens. I jump up, run out, and so there's right next to the safe room window we're going in and out of. There's a ladder. I get up on the ladder and get up on the roof. I get on the radio and let the team leader know I'm up on the roof, just in case I get shot while I'm up on the roof. I don't want them going around trying to find where my body is.
Right.
You just don't know, right? So I let them know. And then I start creeping up towards the attack was coming, and it's got about a 3-foot wall around the whole entire rooftop, so you're not totally exposed. But it could be a sniper up on a building. 'Cause there's other buildings that overlook the compound.
Yeah, because in the movie it looks like you're on the top of the roof, and you have it looks like there's maybe I don't know, 6 foot, maybe 7 foot, like cinder blocks around you. That's how it looked.
Well, I mean, it was wrapped around the whole entire building.
Yeah.
All the buildings, well, our compound, they all had this. We called it almost like a parapet.
Yeah.
3-foot wall, 3-foot. So you couldn't kneel and shoot. You had to squat. So it was like really crappy for fighting in. You couldn't stand up with exposures. You couldn't take a knee because you couldn't see.
So it's kind of like
in the middle. It
right?
sucked. So
you're using a high power rifle too.
Yeah. So I'm moving up, and as I come to the end of it, I pop up. And as I pop up, the dude who the initiation was by an RPG, rocket propelled grenade, and he's coming into view just as I come up. Of course, my weapon's already off safe. I'm intended to use it. And I see him. I let loose about a 10, 15 round volley. He drops, ends that counter assault. During this time of the counter assault, so Tonto initially got behind their engine block of the State Department guys, and he's engaging with the enemy. So we're already engaging with the enemy. So the State Department guys, instead of like dismounting and helping us defend their compound, they honked the horn at Tonto to get him off their vehicle so they could leave.
Wouldn't that be the worst possible thing to do at that particular point in time?
We left our safety of our compound to come rescue their ass, and in the middle of a firefight on their compound, they honked the horn for a guy to get off of. Again, it's not cover. It's not concealment. It's cover. It actually will stop because it's an armored vehicle.
Right.
Yeah. So he backed up.
Makes a ton of sense.
Yeah. So he backed up. They drove off. Again, instead of going to the left, they went to the right. They got attacked, and they got followed back to our compound. So, but after the firefight, we all came up onto the roof where I was at, trying to figure out what we're going to do. Again, they didn't know if the ambassador was there, if he took off. I mean, nobody knew. And the drone feed was up now, and now we started getting intel and stuff a little bit. And what made us leave the consulate was the drone. The pilot started relaying, "Hey, you got about 100, 150 people moving from the east to your position." Or to the from the east to your position. Dude, there's 5 of us, 6 if you count the team leader, a linguist, and an unknown number of locals, armed, unarmed, business suits, shorts. Dude, we didn't know. You
don't know who's who.
It was just random. Some with guns, no guns. Some with RPGs, no RPG. It was just
a mind fuck.
Yeah, crazy. So we made the decision. We left. We went to the left, the way we came in, and we were going to stop and pick up the vehicle that the grenade launcher was left in, not lost in, left in.
Left.
Because I couldn't carry it because there was no, I would have carried it if there was a sling on it. There was no sling on it. But there was so many people that were standing out there. We had no idea who was who. Instead of breaking seal to go get it, to get the vehicle, we left. It wasn't worth the risk.
Too much risk, yeah.
So that's what happened with the grenade launcher. Go back to our compound. We repel, pretty much 2 assaults. After the first assault was about 1 a.m, and that's when we heard about the ambassador. So the ambassador was found probably about approximately 1:30 in the morning inside the villa. He was found in his room, halfway on and off his bed, so he was just kind of laying over. His feet were off. This is what I was told. But if you saw the video of him being dragged out, there's no way he was alive. All the rumors about him being raped, tortured, and mutilated, it's all bullshit. The picture that was floating around that was saying it was him, it was some Egyptian from 2006. So
what the hell's the matter with these people, man?
Dude, I don't know. I think that started by some right-wing nut job to try to bash Hillary. I don't agree with that either. I wish I could find out who did that and just punch him in the face. So I actually got to see the video footage from the moment they got him, after they got him out and they started moving him up the road. His next door neighbor was there. Actually would come over, what I heard, almost regularly when Stevens was there and visit and stuff. So he knew who he was, grabbed him, told his driver, go get my car. He's the one who carried him up the road outside the consulate, threw him in his car, and drove him straight to the hospital. Again, I saw the video footage from the whole entire time. There was no mutilation. And for one, it took us an hour to get to the consulate. We found Ambassador Sean Smith dead within that time frame. You're going to tell me that Ambassador Stevens lived from the very beginning until 1:30 in the morning when they found him and he was still alive? Yeah, okay.
That would be for the movie, right?
Yeah, I got oceanfront property in freaking Nebraska.
Yeah, I got $1 trillion in the bank, but we're sitting here doing this right now.
Yeah. So that was going on. I like to just, because nobody ever corrected it for the family when that was coming out that's what happened to
That's so wrong, man.
Until we came out with the book, they always thought that's really what happened to him. So I mean, his fiance is even contacted. She contacted and said that was the best thing I ever heard. I mean, I'm glad because they were telling him the same thing, that he was tortured and raped and all this stuff. That never happened.
Now, why would they do that? Why?
Because it was
just to make it a bigger deal than what it is.
Because again,
don't these people realize that they got families? Maybe they got kids.
well, people don't care. It's all political. It's all they wanted to make sure Hillary got bashed. Hillary, I'm not about that myself. I mean, I'll blame you for blame, but I'm not gonna make something up to blame you.
Look, I'm not left. I'm not right. I'm for what's right.
Exactly.
That's how I am.
So,
Fuck.
So we repelled those 2 attacks, and the third and final attack came. Again, it was around 5:30 in the morning. They never had any contact with our chief of base. Never had any contact with 17 Feb because the commander of 17 Feb had left that day for somewhere else.
They just like left you guys to die.
So again, but it goes, well, 17. We had nothing to do with really 17 Feb.
But I mean, people are leaving left and right.
Oh yeah.
But you're still there with your team.
Yep. So, no communication. We had the team from Tripoli who came down, that's who Bub was part of, Glenn Doherty. They get to our compound again around 5:30 in the morning or something like that, and he's the only one out of the team that actually came out to be part of what was going on. Everybody else just stayed in the building, and again. He was up there. I don't know how long he was actually up there for, and I just remember hearing what it sounded like a mortar being launched. I mean, been in the military, been attacked quite a few times. You kind of know what it sounds like.
You know what different sounds are, right?
Yeah. So if you don't know, if you go to I would say a tennis, the tennis ball pitcher where it has a thump when it launches the ball. That's what it kind of sounds when you're not next to it. If you're next to it, it's just gonna make you deaf. It's a big explosion. But from a distance, you hear a thump. So I'm actually getting ready to key the radio. Tonto actually keyed it before me and says, "Hey, did anybody else hear that? It sounded like a mortar coming in." And I was just as I'm getting ready to key the radio, it goes off. It hits. It hit probably. We call it building 3, probably about 25 yards to the right and probably 25 yards out away from it. So it missed it by a pretty good distance for the most part, but 25 yards from our back wall. So, but when they did that, it also started a small arms fire. So there was a team ready when that mortar hit. They launched an RPG and hit our back wall, and so Roan and Oz opened fire. He actually had the machine gun, so you can hear that thing just ripping. And Jack, he opened fire. And not soon after, I heard another thump going off.
Huh.
It comes in, it hits the top of the wall right behind Building 3, and ended up taking out Dave Ubin because he took his helmet off. I mean, we're up there for a long time. It sucks. But he took his helmet off, put it down, and so he ended up getting a bunch of shrapnel to the head. So he goes down, and
sorry to hear that, man.
Well, I mean, so our thing is also, so Oz, he says he looks over at him, he's moving, he's live, he's just yelling, "Hey, I'm hit." You're in a firefight, you're on your own. We have to repel the enemy before we can help you. So then I hear another thump, and from my point of view, where I'm at, it's walking towards me. So I did mortars. I'd call for fire on mortars, and it's called walking the round in. So you're a spotter, and you're walking the rounds in. So I'm thinking, oh crap, I'm kind of up high, and mortars, when they go off, they go up and out. So I'm like, screw this. I jumped off the tower, started walking back towards the gym. When the round hit, it actually hit the top of Building 3. The moment it hit, all gunfire stopped. I mean, it stopped instantly. So I start walking that way. I get on the radio and I say, "Hey, you guys up on Building 3, you all right?" Team leader inside the building gets on the radio and says, "No, we're all right in here." I tell them to shut the fuck up. I'm talking to the guys on top of Building 3. So Jack is on an adjacent building, which is pretty close to Building 3. You can see almost the top, you can see almost everything. Of course, it was still dark. Debris was still coming down. He's like, "Hey, TIG, I can't see anything." I start running over, start going up the ladder. Of course, I have to stop when I get above, just to where I'm about ready to get above the wall, because again, they're in the middle of a fight. So I'm getting up, I'm looking over, I go up and look over because I don't want to get shot in the back. get to a point where I know I can just kind of sprint up over the ladder, get over, and the first guy I see has got a gun pointed at me.
Nice.
And but he just had his gun out. He's just kind of pointing it, and I start talking. Hey man, and I keep walking up, get on the radio, said, hey, I got a guy down. I need help up here. Take the gun, put it off to the side, and I'm just talking with him. Ended up being Dave Ubben, the State Department security guy. His left arm, left leg were almost completely blown off. His from pretty much, I'll say half his shin was. I mean, it was just kicked up into his crotch area. It was just dangling.
Bad.
Same thing with his arm. He obviously puncture holes all over the place. Even from the first time he got hit. So I start going through my go bag. We got tourniquets, we got med kits, and all kinds of stuff in our bag, and put the tourniquet on him, do his leg first, do his arm, and get on the radio and say, hey, I got guys down, need help up here, and put the radio on clip my radio back up, go to grab my go bag, and Dave's like, hey man, I need my gun. I'm like, okay. You go back to military training, this and that. The rule is you don't really give anybody a gun that's been rocked. What I mean by rocked, I mean their head's been bounced around a little bit. But again, I'm not a very smart Marine, so I gave him back his gun.
I would have done the same thing.
But again, I downloaded it. I mean, I dropped the mag, cleared the round, cleared the chamber, make sure there's nothing in it, and gave it back to him. Because to me, it was more of helping him stay from going into shock. I mean, he was jacked, and I'm the only one up there. I got 3 other guys that are down, and I'm pretty sure he's not going to be able to reload and rack that damn gun because he wasn't.
He's in bad shape. But you're thinking if I give him this gun, he's going to feel like he's still at battle.
He's safer.
And
he's
the
more
adrenaline's going to keep him going. That's that's smart and that's quick thinking. So
and plus, when I'm talking with him, he's communicating back with me. He's just not all doped up and drug. He's communicating.
Yeah.
So he's there.
He's coherent to an extent.
So I gave him that again. So after I gave him the gun, I get back up and I start walking. And there's a guy right in the middle of the roof. He's laying face down. He's not moving. Okay, so you're going to go to somebody that's moving. That's a priority for the most part because you can still probably save their life. So I mean, Dave Ubben, he was there. He was moving. If he wasn't moving, I would have moved on. I'm sorry. It just is what it is. But he was moving, anyways. So I go forward, and I can hear some movement. Again, debris. Can't really see all the way across the roof, but almost. It's still dark. It's not light out yet, like in the movie. The movie looks like it's daylight. Not really. Wasn't that much daylight. End up going forward, and it's Oz. He's actually sitting up against the wall of the parapet, and it's his left wrist and left arm, and he's just kind of bouncing it up and down. He's like, "Hey, Dick, check this out." I'm like, "Dude, stop playing with it."
You guys are fucking tough, man.
He's like, "Stop playing with it. You're gonna make it worse, man. Quit." Yeah, but look at this, man. I'm like, "Dude, stop."
You guys are nuts. You're making me feel not nuts.
So he stopped, but he had a tourniquet out, but. Then I get back on the radio before I go to help him and say, dude, I need help, and I need help now. OD, he's over on the other building. He gets on the radio and says, hey, if you guys ain't getting over there, I'm getting off this fucking roof, and I'm going over there. The team leader comes on. He says, no, stay where you are. We're on our way. Not that they're coming up. They're on their way. So, again, I mean, it might have been a minute. It might have been 30 seconds, but I was able to go up on the roof already, assess Dave Ubben, find my 2 tourniquets, get him back his gun, all this other stuff, and move to the second guy, and they're just now on their way. So I'm like, whatever, I was done calling it in. So I get the tourniquet on Oz. I stand him up. Of course, I'm looking him over as much as I can. Because I don't want to break light discipline because I don't know, because we call them spotters. It's somebody that has to spot. Somebody has to see where those mortars land to adjust fire. They have to tell them how much to drop it, increase it, left, right, or whatever. So somebody's watching the building. Now,
when you hear that thump for that mortar, you know it's coming.
Yeah.
How long until that hits?
Dude, it was probably about a minute.
Oh, wow. It takes out. I thought they were quicker.
It depends. Okay. Well, because it depends how close you are and stuff like that. It has to go up. And it could have been less than that. I mean, it was probably less than a minute, but it felt like you hear the thump. You're like, oh, hell no. This can't be mortars. There's just no way. Because we've been here fighting for 8 hours. Literally, I mean, it's now, well, between pretty much when we get there, 10:30? So, well, actually, about 10 o'clock is when I first fired the grenade launcher. So from that until about 5:30, again, I don't know the times. I didn't have my watch.
But still, you're going 7-8 hours straight,
Yeah.
firing, assessing, looking.
And I'm going, so you're thinking that they're locking down the city, cops are out there, they're doing something, they're securing, they're shutting the shit down, right? Because we're just 2 firefights.
And it's not like people can't see
Actually,
it or hear the shit, right?
Actually, that's our 4th firefight by then.
Damn.
So, but so I don't know how long. It might have been 30 seconds because it was fairly quick because, again, I didn't get the chance to key it. Tonto keyed it and was talking. But where was I? Oh, so I stood up Oz after I got the tourniquet on and said, hey, dude, can you walk to the ladder by yourself? And, you can kind of see he's kind of looking because I still got, 2 other guys at 10. I guess I got no choice. So, and, instead I didn't just like let him go. I kind of held on to him just to make sure I didn't want him to fall over and smack his head and then he becomes, a permanent casualty. So he kind of had the drunk wobble and that was it, and then he was able to move on. He moved on. I go to the 3rd person. I rolled him over and that was Roan. I checked for a pulse. There was no pulse, but I remember his throat moved. I think it was just more of a nerve, you say your body kind of twitches a little bit. I think I could have been what it was. I don't really know. There's no pulse. Then I ripped off his body armor, do a thing, look, listen, feel. You put your ear down in their mouth. You're trying to feel a breath, hear a breath, and you're looking down their chest line to see if their stomach's moving or their chest's moving. Again, it was pretty dark. Couldn't really see a whole lot. I mean, I could see enough. Couldn't see anything, couldn't hear anything, couldn't feel anything. Hearing, I probably couldn't have heard anything anyways. But that's when I finally broke out the light and I said, okay, did a pupil dilation? There's no dilation.
Done.
So I get on the radio because Oz, again, he was just now getting off the ladder, and I get on the radio and said, hey, Roan's gone, because he was our only medic for the whole entire base.
Sorry to hear that, man. And to his family, by the way. So
I left him, moved over to the 4th guy. And again, he was, nose the roof. And you can kind of tell he's probably gone, but you don't know. So I rolled him over, and I just remember the first time I saw him, I thought it was Jack. I'm like going, how the hell did Jack? All this stuff happened so fast, but I just remember I thought it was Jack. I'm like, holy crap! I'm like, wait a second, no, I just talked to Jack. He said, okay, so I don't know who this dude is. But do the same thing, pulse, look, listen, feel, pupil dilation, he's gone. And by then, the rest of the team from Tripoli had come up, the 2 Delta Force guys that showed up, and they were there, and our country team leader, he was there up on the roof, and I think there was one more GRS guy that showed up. The 2 Delta Force guys weren't GRS. They're active duty Army, obviously, but Delta Force. But I just remember watching them. They actually went down and got a strap and made pretty much a human backpack out of a workout strap to get Dave Ubin off the roof, because he ain't walking off. I mean,
it's not happening.
He just ain't walking off.
Yeah.
So this dude, again, he's like 6'4", 260 pounds. He's a big dude. He's not small. So it was kind of cool. I mean, they made a human backpack out of him, and wrapped him up, and that's how they get him off. But during the time they were doing this, I was going around getting the weapon systems that were left up on the roof. You just don't leave gear behind, because we don't know if we're going to be able to even get them off the roof or whatever. We don't know what's going to happen. So if we have to take off and we can't do anything, you just don't leave that equipment behind. So I got all that stuff. I went over to Roan, got his weapon systems. I grabbed his wedding ring, and a couple other personal things, and knelt down, said a prayer over him. Went over to the fourth guy, ended up being Bub, Glenn Doherty. Again, knelt down and said a prayer over him, grabbed his stuff, went off the roof, and pretty much that was about the last active contact that we had. About 7:30, another militia came and actually got us out of Libyan militia, which happened to be Gaddafi loyalist. So it was Gaddafi's army.
Nice.
That got us out of that situation into the airport. We get to the airport. So we get to the airport, and of course he got Oz. He's just in his underwear. So I'm still seeing a shrink over that. By the way. And so he's riding on the back of a pickup in a pickup truck, but he gets there and he gets off and he goes to walk on the plane. So the plane that they got, it wasn't hijacked or anything like that. So they had actually met an asset that day, or on 9/11. And he's just a rich freaking Libyan. And he said, hey, I got 3 private jets. If you ever need one, you can have it. 12 hours later, we needed it. So it was a nice business jet, nice cabinets, nice, had reclining chairs, almost beds in it and stuff like that. It had one side, I believe, was a couch on the plane. So really nice. So Oz comes walking up. The stewardess, she's just there wide-eyed. Like, holy crap. I mean, he's almost naked. I'd be too, right?
Right.
Screw the blood, and dude's freaking naked. But so she just disappears, runs back to the back of the plane. Right? I was just like, okay, whatever. So he goes.
He's probably like, fuck you, bitch. You know the day that I had today? Yeah. Right?
So he gets up, and then as he gets on, he turns. She comes running back up. She had a handful of towels. And he's thinking, well, it must be, she's going to, wrap me up, because I'm bleeding. Nope. She starts laying the towels all over the plane.
So she doesn't get blood on the plane.
Yep. No, don't want to wreck her boss's plane, man. I got to keep it nice and pretty.
Well, at least you had the plane to get the hell out of there, right?
Well, she
Or
didn't know
he
she didn't know Dave Ubben was coming on.
Oh, okay.
He's not walking. He's on a stretcher. Well, they have this nice cabinet right on the entry, right? So it kind of reduces that space. They had to rip it out to get Dave Ubben in because on the stretcher it wouldn't fit. So the whole blood thing, trying to keep your boss's plane.
You might as well pick up those towels, honey.
Yeah.
Right.
So
I mean that respectfully, by the way. I'm just
know,
making fun of, having fun with the bad situation. That's all.
No, because it is. It is it's like trying to save blood, but then we just destroy probably $10,000-$20,000 worth of cabinets. I mean, I don't know how much it is, but it's probably cost the government like $80 million for all I know.
Thank you.
Yeah, right. So they get him on, but they can't take us all because we have their sensitive equipment, the body armor, and all their everybody's stuff. So they can only hold so much weight on these private jets. It wasn't like a big passenger jet, but it was a nice big jet. I mean, you could stand up. It had bathrooms. Anyways, well, everybody's armed. Everybody has a loaded gun. The pilot says, hey, everybody needs to unload their gun before we can take off. Okay, well, we have maintenance guys, we have cooks, we have supply. So Murphy's going to show up. The dude, the mechanic pulls his pistol out, goes to unload, gun goes off. So we're standing outside the plane. We hear this bang. We're like, what the hell's going on? The pilot comes flying out of the plane. I don't think he touched the steps. Comes flying out of the plane, goes underneath. I mean, he's rubbing all over the place. I mean, he's rubbing. We're like, what the hell's going on? He goes running back in, and, we finally heard that, obviously, he figured it out, okay, somebody fired the gun inside the plane. We're like, what the freaking hell happened? And, they found the bullet. So right where the chair is bolted in, the bullet hit there and stopped. No ricochet, no nothing, just stopped. It must have been like a squib round, I guess. I don't know.
Wow.
But somebody's watching out for us that day.
You ain't lying about that.
So they lift the chair up, they lift the ladder up, and they take off. They go and they land in Tripoli, and of course they got the medical unit. They're on standby by now. I mean, they had plenty of time to go to sleep.
Oh, they ate breakfast, had their coffee, read the paper, took a dump. So, okay, now I guess we'll go get the guys that are,
a few minutes.
Yeah.
So they land, they're there, and they literally said that
unbelievable.
They said that Dave Ubben would have been probably about another 10, 15 minutes. He'd be dead just from bleeding. He had so many wounds all over him, he'd have bled out. So, I mean, again, if that bullet had been left to the right of that
situation,
he'd have been dead. Again, if the militia didn't show up when they did, he'd be dead. So all kinds of just stuff that saved his life. So we ended up staying back. We didn't know how we were getting home or anything like that. The militia that was there, they went and got the ambassador. They brought him back. to our location, and we of course we got to you always got to go check the body. You got for one, you got to make sure it's actually the person, but you have to actually take their clothes, you got to lift up their clothes, make sure they weren't implanted with the bomb. Because they would do that. They would cut them open, they would put bombs in them and sew them back up. You had to check the sides and the back because they would start going through the back because we'd always just lift up the shirt and they would do all kinds of stuff. And I just remember one thing that was kind of weird to me was his feet.
What was with his feet?
They're all black. Complete soot.
From the diesel that was in the paint?
From the fire.
Wow.
Just from the smoke and the fire. So I'm going to go back to also, they said it was a protest. How in the hell did this dude not have enough time to put socks and shoes on if it was a protest?
Rob, can you answer that one?
No.
So, I mean, I just thought it was weird anyways he didn't have shoes on because in my mind I saw Die Hard.
Well, you're making a very good point, though.
But I saw Die Hard.
Mm-hmm.
Always put your damn shoes on. If you can't no socks, put your shoes on. I'm not cutting my damn feet.
Right.
I'm not running around with a cotton wrap on my foot.
You need your feet.
I need my feet.
Yeah.
So anytime protest, anything, I always got my shoes on, no matter what.
I can't believe they called that a protest.
Yeah. So a Libyan C-130 lands, comes down, actually does a U-turn. They're pretty far away from us and shuts off. So in the military, if you do a hot load, once you're going to land, you're going to load up, and you're going to take off, you never shut things down because it takes more fuel and energy to start it back up. So our team leader and the linguist that stayed behind, they went over there. They did some durka with them, and they said they're going to take us up to Tripoli. So that's how we got out of there. It was literally Libyans that got us from our compound to the airport, from the airport to Tripoli.
So Libyans got you out of there.
Libyans got us out.
Not America.
Nope, not even close.
Now, after, the years that have went by, do you have any type of explanation as to why things went the way that they did? And second is why he wanted you guys to stand down.
So for the stand down, again, that's just who he was. That's how he was. I don't think he either didn't know our capabilities or he's just so risk adverse. That was his last duty station until retirement. So I think it just had to do more with being risk reverse.
Was he like a conservative in battle?
Pretty much.
Okay.
Might have been a very great spy, but sucked at that position of his job. I mean, he probably should not have been a chief of base in a high threat environment. Maybe more like France or something like that.
Should have stayed a spy.
Yeah. Well, I mean, he was still a spy, but just not in a high threat environment.
Right.
Because again, you have to make those life and death decisions. Gee, Christmas. But I know for a fact that if we'd have left when we wanted to, Stevens and Smith would be alive. That's a fact.
Fuck, man.
And people say, "Well, how do you know it's a fact?"
I don't know. You were there, maybe?
Well, because look how long it took them to light the buildings on fire. We were ready to go before they lit the first building on fire. The first building lit on fire was 17 Feb. And then they had to go from there to the villa and get that going. And it takes time to light things on fire. We were ready to go for the first building. We're not going to go in quietly. We're not going to sneak on. We're going to draw the attention away from them to us. Especially if we know you're starting to light the buildings on fire, we're going to make noise.
So if you would have had the intel, this would have ended right then and there.
Well, not really intel. If we would have had the ability to leave when we wanted to.
Okay, leave when we want. Okay.
Yeah, because again, we went with the firepower that we had. I had the grenade launcher. We had 2 butt-fed machine guns. I'm hanging out with 2 Navy SEALs. I'm a Marine. I'm good.
It's time to go.
We're gonna kill the world.
Let's go. Right?
We're badasses.
Fucking right.
Until we're not.
Yeah, until you're not. Yeah.
So it's
So, do you have any thought process in your mind of why things went the way that they did? I understand the guy maybe wasn't experienced enough to be in that position with his call, but that's just one part of a lot. But
it also came to our team leader not really being that strong team leader because he was a staffer, but he wasn't military background. He was a Secret Service background, so but they can get fired. We can't. He can't fire. The chief of base can't fire a contractor. We're not under his chain of command. we're under his base command, but when a security situation happens, we take control. We're supposed to take control, and our team lead didn't. But other than that, for like support coming in and stuff like that, yeah.
Who's at fault for that? I mean, is it because it sounded to me that everything I thought all these years was that it was all HC.
Well, it is Hillary Clinton's fault again. So the consulate was attacked 3 times. I was there the second time it was attacked. It was understaffed, undermanned, and again, Bob was there. I was there. We were ready to go. He told us to stand down that time. The only difference was, so it was an attack, but all they did was blow a hole in the wall. I think they're just trying to assess the reaction of us and maybe 17 Feb is my guess. I don't really know, but there was no follow-on. If there had been a follow-on attack, 9/11 would have happened because they would have closed the consulate down. But they never increased security even after that. So again, to me, that falls on what Charlene Lamb, the head security officer, and Hillary Clinton, because she knew about it, and she didn't know about the lacks and the request for more security. That's still her fault. Now, as for more support coming, they keep saying no assets were available. There was nothing in the area. They say the Italian air I forgot the name of the base, but it starts with an A. The Italian air base was shut down for maintenance.
Do you believe that?
No, not for a second. There was a Civ unit, which is an Army unit. They were there. They made it into Benghazi and got told to turn around. You had the 24th MEU, which was only a few hours away from Benghazi, which is a ton of Marines. Then you had the USS Dunham, was just a little bit off the coast of Libya. And then you had the Marine Fast Platoon, which is their job is to go in and rescue embassies and consulates that are being attacked and rescue them. They were told to go in. I mean, that part's on the news. They were told to go in and out of uniform like 3-4 times. But their job, they were never coming to Benghazi. Any rescue team that was being called up was all going to Tripoli, where there was no attack. I don't know, because they're stupid. I have no idea. I guess the only thing I can really think of, because remember what was going on in Mogadishu. Who was president in Mogadishu during Black Hawk Down? Bill Clinton.
Oh.
So I think they were afraid of another Clinton incident, another Black Hawk Down.
Mm-hmm.
Honestly, that's kind of what I think was what their problem was, because there were still surface-to-air missiles, whatever. They were afraid they were going to get shot down because it was almost the same environment, just not as bad. For them to say there's no assets in the area available, bullcrap.
You got assets all over, from what it sounds like.
Yeah, but my other thing is, okay, let me play into your stupidity and say there's no assets available. The embassy in Egypt was overrun 8 hours prior. You're going to tell me you were never sending any assets whatsoever towards the embassy in Egypt that was overrun?
I don't think so.
So again, they just don't. Either they're complacent, incompetent, or just plain idiots.
You think you were set up at all?
No.
You don't think they tried to set you up?
No. I don't believe in that conspiracy portion.
Yeah, I was just asking.
I don't believe that they're setting up the ambassador to be kidnapped. I've heard all the rumors. Gun running, I have no idea. I don't really care if we were gun running. I really don't. I want to know why we didn't have any assets.
That's what I want to know.
Because I've been almost every country I went to, we were trying to buy surface-to-air missiles all the time. We were always trying to buy back weapons and stuff like that as much as we could.
There's got to be more to it, right?
But
there's got to be.
But people are so fixated on, I really do not care if we were gun running. I don't care if we were drug running. I don't care if we were human running.
Who cares?
Why weren't there assets available? But people are so fixated on one thing. Like, I really don't care.
I don't care either. I want to know why no assets were available.
Yeah.
That other shit is whatever. This is life and death shit.
So there's another air base, Italian air base, that's not really that far from Benghazi. So if you have this major one up here, what about, are the Italians not our friends or our allies? Couldn't you call them up and say, hey, do some flybys with the F-15s that we freaking gave you or whatever other F-16s. I don't think they had any F-22s yet, but
Last time I checked, the Italians and Americans were pretty cool.
that's what I thought.
My whole family's. I mean,
but that's
I've never heard everybody's trying to get here in Italy. Everybody's trying to get here.
Yeah,
working
so
2 jobs a day.
I want to say, what is it? Crete?
Mm-hmm.
That sound right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So there's an Italian air base right there.
And to this day, you still don't have like a conclusion.
There's U.S. military personnel stationed there.
It had to be some type of setup, man. It had to be. They
think
had to have wanted you guys gone to maybe started another war, or who the fuck knows.
I almost think that they kind of, again, I don't like being a conspiracy, but knowing how everything went, knowing there's assets available, I really don't think they expected us to come out there alive.
So they figured, fuck it, let's put it somewhere else where they have a shot.
Because all the assets that I was being told they were going straight to Tripoli. They weren't told anything about Benghazi. You can't blame the military. People say, well, it's military. They didn't get, no. They only knew what they were being told. Again, the base in Benghazi didn't really even exist. This was a State Department mission, not DOD mission. So DOD only had a quarter of the information. They didn't even know our base existed, but they knew the consulate was there, but not about us. But anyways, so
that perplexes me.
But as the night went on, I kind of think, again, Hillary, she wanted to run for president. This was going to be a huge, she just lost the U.S. ambassador. And, I really think they didn't want us to come out. I really do.
So technically, that kind of would be a setup in a way, right? Because they didn't want you to come out.
I would say halfway through.
Halfway through.
It was kind of like, okay, let's just take our losses and let them go.
Yeah, and then send the assets to where they thought
safe place.
Safe place, yeah. Nice. But you really should send the assets to where it's not a safe place.
Yeah.
I would think.
So, because you still got to get us out of there.
Yeah.
Regardless of what happens, we can't stay there. We're exposed.
And then after this happens, all you hear is Hillary. Drugs.
Protest.
Yeah. That's all you hear.
Yep.
All I heard was Hillary. So all this years, I had no idea about the stand down with the other guy and this and that, because the media, the social media, the paper, whatever, it was all Hillary didn't send them in. And as you said, she had a major part in it, but she wasn't the only one.
Yeah.
Right?
No, and then Obama, he's there. He just packs the buck. And I told him, do whatever you have to do to get them out. Then he goes on a fundraiser. You just lost an ambassador. You haven't lost an ambassador in 30 freaking years. He's a direct representative of you in a foreign country, and you got to go to a fundraiser.
Did you talk to Obama?
Hell, they didn't talk to us at all. So here's the feel on anything. So we got awards for what we did. Of course, we don't do it for awards. So the State Department gave us an award, and we got invited to the ceremony because they wanted to present it to us. None of us really wanted to go. So they said, "You gonna go?" I said, "I don't know. I'd probably go. I don't really know." But then time go. I don't know how long it was when they told us. But so I had to get a tractor.
A tractor?
I had to get a tractor. So I got cattle and stuff like that. And I was like, you know what?
This motherfucker. You had to get I already know where you're at. Go ahead.
So
you wanted a tractor?
So I'm going down to Texas. Got a little Texas, and I get a phone call. I already picked it up. I think I'd already picked it up, but actually I was kind of on my way back.
The tractor.
With the tractor. And this was like the day before. I'm like, I'm not going. But it was like the day before, and I get the phone call, and they said, hey, I just wanted to let you know that you guys got uninvited.
Got uninvited?
We got uninvited to go.
Wow.
So, no, I never got to meet them.
Because you got uninvited.
Yep.
Now, why do you think they uninvited you?
I have no idea.
What's your opinion? You know you have an opinion.
Yeah, because at the time, it'd been, we hadn't talked to nobody. We hadn't been talking to the news. We were kind of seeing what was going on. It was still, I don't think, when was that? Because it was just before she left office. When did she leave office?
16? No. When did she leave office? Who knows?
Was it?
Obama.
I think it was February. I think it was February of 2013. I think she left office or something like that.
Yeah, because Obama was 08, right? You
But no,
ran
but-
me 12. Yeah, I think 13. I don't know.
13 or 14. It was
Yeah.
before we even did the book or even had an idea of doing the book. Because actually my lungs were kind of still healing, so it hadn't been very long. But
Yeah, what injuries did you sustain throughout the?
I just cuts and bruises internally. Lungs. I pretty much had road rash on my lungs from the smoke inhalation. I got a thing called TOS, thoracic outlet syndrome.
The hell is that?
So it messes with the nerves, kind of up here. It's either in the collarbone or in the neck. They don't really know. So like when I put my arms up, I lose all blood flow and numbing, and it just sucks. I don't have as much. A lot of people suffer a lot more pain than I do, but sometimes my hands will just go to sleep.
And what happened that caused that?
I think usually it's I hit my head. Well, not my head, but my helmet and my nods, my night vision goggles on the window, and I was going through, so it gave me quick
Like whiplash.
whiplash.
Mhm.
And they think that's where it was because I still get a lot of pain in the back of my neck. But who knows what else probably happened? I mean, I've had to I had to have meniscus. I think I tore my meniscus in that, but it didn't pop until a while later. But my knee was hurting afterwards.
How'd that feel when that popped?
It was kind of funny, actually. So.
You're fucking nuts, bro.
So it popped. It was 2013 when it popped, and I was actually we were actually going to a Halloween party. So I got a flat tire on the SUV, and I'm wearing cowboy boots. So there's no traction whatsoever on cowboy
Right,
boots. Right,
you're slipping around.
So as I'm standing there, I get the tire off and I go to turn. So the cop comes. They're kind of doing. We're kind of talking, and I turn and hear the pop.
Yeah.
And the cop just looks at me. He goes, "Was that your knee?" And I go, "Yep." He goes, "Do you want me to call an ambulance?" I said, "Nope. I got a party to go to." So I finished putting the tire on and I go to the party, right?
Whoa. You changed the tire with the torn meniscus?
Well, it's
Which
not.
I
don't think
my
it's that
grammar's
bad.
terrible.
Yeah, it was torn.
You don't think it's that terrible?
I mean, it hurt, but it'd been hurting for a while. I mean, I already made a couple deployments with it and stuff like that. And I was like, yeah, whatever, So
He made it through like a 10-hour firefight. I think he's fine.
It was 13, right?
13.
well, it wasn't 13 hour
Whatever.
fire, but yeah, it was a
long
13-hour event.
battle.
Yeah.
So you were up. How long were you up straight during all that?
So I think I probably got up about 5 in the morning on 9/11, and we didn't go to bed. It wasn't really that long. We didn't go to bed until probably about 2 in the afternoon on the 12th.
Oh no,
Oh, not
that's
bad.
not that long. With
Uh-uh.
a bunch of gunfire and mortars flying around and dead bodies. No, not that bad. Let's go do another one with the torn meniscus and change the tire. Oh, and then go to a party.
I'm trying to think about the craziest 8-hour day I've ever had. That doesn't come close. Nope, I'm not. Nope, not close.
No,
But
I've had some crazy ones.
But I drank a lot, so I had no pain. I just remember waking up the next morning, dude, and my knee was
Oh, I bet
it was a balloon. I was like, maybe I should go get this looked at.
How was that rehab?
Actually, it wasn't bad.
No,
It was fairly
there's nothing
quick.
bad to you.
What-
You could cut your
So-
arm off, and it'd be like, oh, you probably go play with it. Right?
So I would have to say, actually, so far the worst surgery I've had is had a herniated belly button. That one sucked ass.
I didn't even know you could herniate your belly button.
Oh yeah, your intestines come poking out.
That sounds fun.
It was painful. Well, but the surgery was worse because you're not supposed to use your stomach muscles at all.
I'm still stuck on how that even happens. How did that happen?
Working out.
How?
I don't know. It's like
what were you doing that it popped? That,
well, because when they cut your belly button, all they do is they just fold the skin and stitch it.
right.
And that's all. And that pretty much that just kind of came undone and
But what the hell were you doing that you unstitched it?
sandbags. I was
This
working
fucking
out with
guy.
sandbags.
I just figured it out. Sorry, it's been.
Go ahead.
I just figured this out. We've been doing a bunch of episodes here, right? We've just on this 100 whatever episode we've done on this podcast. We always say who would be crazy enough to go in the ring and fight Mike Tyson? That guy right there. There
him.
it is. After all these episodes, we found the craziest person that will go in and fight Mike Tyson.
Good call.
There it is.
Will you fight Mike Tyson?
How much is he gonna pay me? Because I ain't winning.
I think we said 20 million? We just do it for 20
Hell yeah, let's do it.
20 million. I'll do it. Fuck it. I just
How long? Whoa! How long do I have to last?
Well, I think you'll be good.
If I just step in and then, I mean, I'm not gonna fall.
No.
I'm not gonna. You know, I'm not gonna just.
I think you'll be all right, man.
I mean, I'm not bouncing around for.
I don't know. I mean, I'm sitting.
I rode a bull. I also tore my pec and bicep muscle.
Jesus.
So I wasn't 100% healed yet, but I had a chance to ride a bull. A real live bull, not a mechanical bull.
Say that again. What is ripped that you decided to get on a bull?
My pec and bicep, my left and right.
Oh my friend ripped his
right.
bicep, and that was the.
So no, it wasn't a full tear, like it like folded up like that.
I don't care if it was a quarter tear. And what else did you rip?
My pec, my pec muscle.
And you get on a live bull?
Yeah, I mean, I already had the surgery, but I didn't have the cast on no more. But I was still doing physical therapy, but I had a chance to ride the bull. So I was like,
You are in Florida now. We could take him alligator wrestling or something. I don't know. You want to try alligator?
I've done the alligator hunt out here before.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've gotten 3, but I lasted. I mean, the gate opened.
You're a tough dude, man.
I had like a 30, less than probably about a 15-minute bull riding lesson. And then he goes, okay, when he gets out the gate, he's going to do this, he's going to do that. It's like, dude, I'll be shocked if I make it out of the damn gate. And I really didn't make it out of the gate.
I'm surprised your body didn't go into shock. I mean, I don't care how strong-minded you are. You know, your body is still your body, bro.
Man, I was like, man, if I fall on my right side, this is really going to suck. So the gate opens, and he turned to the left and went really quick to the right, and that threw me off to the left. And I was like, it happened so fast, I didn't have time to think. I mean, it was whack, whack. Again, I don't think I lasted a half a second. That's how fast his bull was. Of course, I've never ridden one, so I didn't know what to expect. Because you watch it on TV, it's like, that doesn't seem too bad. But I knew it was. But still, I got to ride a bull. It was pretty cool. I would like to do it again, but I don't think I should.
You probably shouldn't, but something tells me that you're going to.
Maybe a calf. Maybe I won't do a full-on bull. But
I mean, you do have a bad hip.
Well, so yeah. So now I've had my left. Now I got to go in for my right in December. I don't get to celebrate New Year's this year. I got a December 29th to go for my right hip. So,
did
I tell you how that happened?
No, you didn't tell me how that happened. You just told me that
UADF,
it fixed.
United American Defense Force is what I've been kind of focusing on quite a bit. Again, it kind of helps protect the community and stuff like that. And so we were out on the Stop the Steal rally in Colorado Springs. Again, we're not there. We're there just kind of protect the community because what was going on there. The left, they come out and they start attacking people that any patriot musters or pro-American rallies, back the blue rallies. They come in and attack them. So I set up the organization. We come out and protect the community. So we were out there, and myself and 3 other guys, we were walking across the crosswalk. We had the right of way. There's these douchebaggery, pretty much teeny boppers. They just kept doing U-turns, right? And it was actually initially it was a chick that was driving. They ended up swapping. The dude was driving. She was in the back seat now, and I just remember, we're like, whatever. We're walking across. She's hanging out the back window. She's got her shirt off. She's got a sports bra on. She's actually pretty hot though, but she has a sports bra on. She's like doing the whole twirly of her shirt over her head, and we're walking, and so. As we're walking, they had a red light, and so we start going. He starts doing a U-turn on the red light, and when I turned and I looked at him, he wasn't looking at me. He was looking at the 2 other guys. So I don't know. He's just idiot, and he hits me. Not fast, and I just start yelling like, "What the freaking hell you doing? It's a red light. Why are you doing a U-turn at a red light?" And he's kind of like telling me to move. I need to get out of the way, and he lurches again at me. And so I got my service dog with me, and I take my leash. It's actually got a buckle on both ends because it's a training leash, and I smack the hood of his car because again he's getting ready to hit me again as I'm moving out of the way. Just a reaction, hit him, hit the car. And then he lunges again. That's when he hits my leg, and I end up doing like the standing splits almost.
Oh.
And so, I come down, I smack his windshield, break the windshield, and they take off. So it's a hit and run on a pedestrian.
Too bad he didn't get to grab him out of there.
Well, you know,
I guess you can't say that nowadays.
I probably would have if he would have stopped. But
Good.
he
You
didn't
should have.
stop. I mean, I was armed. I had my gun on me.
I don't know about shoot him, but just
No, but again, he's just a stupid. It wasn't
Yeah,
like
no,
he was trying to kill me.
yeah.
But a hit and run. We end up obviously we have footage all over the place of him. Call the cops. Cops come, and anyways, so that's kind of what happened with my hips. But the DA, I found out through the grapevine that he's not going to press any charges against the individual because of who I am.
What did you do? Did you do something to somebody?
Right?
I mean, you know.
Because I'm TIG. That's why.
And what did TIG do?
Benghazi.
Saved 24 people? What is it, 24? Yeah, 24 other people than the ones that you were with. So you saved, you know, and that's just this situation. I mean, in your career, you know, for all you know, you might have saved 100 people. You don't, you know.
Yeah, I don't know.
People act like when you shoot somebody, like you go and you check to see if the guy's dead or whatever. You're just getting your guy out of there, you know. Like,
yeah. Well, it's what it is. We got the backlash because we took down their girlfriend, Hillary. She did become president. Again, yeah.
This is the power that they have. It's just unbelievable.
It's the power that we give them.
Or corrected. I stand corrected. You're damn right. You're right. We give them that. You're right.
Yep. So again, I'm never silent. You know, whatever. I mean, I'll do my hip surgery. I still, even after I got hit, I still went out with, you know, protecting people and stuff like that. And
you know what? You're still smiling. You're still laughing. You know, you're joking around. You know what that bitch is doing? Sitting in there.
Looking at Bill,
who's getting older by the fucking second, who's all over that flight manuscript.
Yeah.
I have it. We actually have it. I got it. Brought it in.
Yeah,
It's bad. I couldn't believe Lady Gaga was on there, but who knows what the fuck with that. But so she's looking at Bill, who she knows will hit anything he sees. She's looking at herself in the mirror and
wish something would hit me.
yeah. How she?
Oh, dude. Yeah. She's something else, man. They're all something else.
So, at the end of the day, with everything that happened in Benghazi, if you had, I hate to say it like this, but I just want to ask it because I have you here, and hopefully I'll have you again here if you're so kind enough to come back. Who would you put the blame on with this? Who is the most to blame? And if you don't want to answer that, don't answer it because I don't want to start any type of shit for you.
To me, it'd be Obama. He was the president of the United States.
So you blame Obama for what happened?
I mean,
more than Hillary?
He was the leader of the free nation. I mean, it was his State Department. But I mean, honestly, if the biggest blame to me would actually go on to Charlene Lamb, the head of the security. For her to sit there and say, I lost the paperwork underneath all these other papers.
No, give me a break.
To deny security, say, the left or the Democrats always say, well, it's because the Republicans denied or reduced the funds for the State Department. So you're going to tell me you'd rather spend the $10 million on Tesla charging stations than more security in Benghazi. You're going to tell me you'd rather spend tens of millions of dollars for generators for the Pakistanis instead of more security in Benghazi. It's called allocating money in the right direction. So they had the funds, just need to be allocated to the right place.
Used properly.
But to me, it goes back to us. It falls on Hillary because again, the consulate was attacked twice prior. They lacked the security since the first time I went into Benghazi, since 2011. They were requesting, kept getting denied, and they were never told why it was denied. It was just always denied. Even the leadership on the ground was requesting more security, not just the guys in Benghazi, guys up in Tripoli were telling them, hey, you need to add this, need to do this. Again, being attacked twice prior, Hillary Clinton should have known the security situation. So she should have said, no, we need to have more security. If they're requesting it, because you need to look into it. If you're in the leadership position, when your consulate's got attacked with 2 security officers there, 1 principal officer.
And am I correct? Like once, okay. Twice,
there's a problem.
Now you need to take action, address it, right?
Yeah. So, and it never was. It was still lackadaisy. Then you have a U.S. ambassador going into a high threat environment with a security team that was requesting more security. She knows she knows he's coming. There's like 80,000 freaking emails, right? Besides the 30,000 that she kept for herself. Him requesting, he was requesting more security. He was requesting more, and it kept getting denied. I mean, so again, but I would honestly, I would say Charlene Lamb should take more of the blunt, but she was promoted. So to me, if you promote somebody, it goes, it's Hillary Clinton, you need to take all the blame. She says, I took the blame. No, you didn't.
She didn't take.
You didn't do anything.
She didn't take the blame.
No.
Did you even ever hear of Lane? Lane's her last name? Lamb?
Certainly
Did you ever hear her?
No,
I don't.
Bro, I watched you a million times. I swear to God I did. I never heard her name. Never.
I've said it a couple times.
No, I mean,
okay.
you.
Yeah.
I'm saying
in general.
aside, like in general, like when I'm reading or whatever. Yeah, I know you said it on when what's the guy that they kicked off Fox? I think you're on O'Reilly. I think O'Reilly had you on.
Yeah.
And I think you said her name then. So I remember you saying you, but I'm saying when you research, she's nowhere.
No.
Not that it means anything now, but if Obama or Hillary would say, "Hey, Tig, I want to meet with you, want to apologize or talk to you," what would you say to that?
I'd tell him to pound sand because I know it wouldn't be sincere. It'd be fake.
It would be for alternative.
And you don't need to apologize to me. You need to apologize to the family of the fallen and the
right.
American people. I don't need you, goddamn. I was doing my job.
And you're here.
So yeah.
Unbelievable, man. So you would put Lamb or whatever the hell her name is first,
so
then Obama, and then Hillary.
Again, nothing will ever change until there's accountability.
Yeah, and there's no accountability now. None.
That's why we still have the same thing going over and over. It'll never be changed.
Repeats.
So what's accountability? Accountability, you need to be. Charlene Lamb should be charged for minimum involuntary manslaughter.
And what do you think Obama should be charged with? You got to hit him with something.
I don't know if you really, because
I mean,
here's my other thing is like for somebody who's running the I mean, it is overall it is his responsibility. I mean, he's a direct representative of the United States, the Ambassador Stevens was. But again, you got somebody who's running an entire country. He can't be everywhere. He can't know every single detail what's going on. I mean, they have over 200 and something locations in the State Department. There's no way he can know what the situation is there. Hillary Clinton should have, and she says she didn't, but she wants to be president. You don't even know what's going on in one section that you need to be, that's been attacked, that's in a high-threat environment, and you don't even know what's going on there, even though you have all these emails, but you want to run the country. But again,
you could sit here all day and I guess, hit your head against the wall trying to get the answer, but, you're never going to get it. And you'll get bits and pieces probably throughout the years. But
Republicans are just as bad when something happens.
Yeah.
So again, it's not
all the fucking
but until you start holding people to that fire, again, Hillary Clinton she should have been charged with something, maybe not as much as the voluntary manslaughter, but something. She should never be able to hold office again. Something needs to happen. Something needs to change. Accountability needs to happen. One, lose your job, you lose your pension. When something like that happens that could have been prevented, but you lost your paperwork underneath paperwork, no.
That's just crazy. And, as you of being in there, I mean, that has to frustrate the hell out of you. But you're a happy guy. Like you seem happy.
Well, you can't,
But if you hold a grudge, you're only hurting yourself.
Yeah, growing up, you grew up in a fun childhood.
Yeah.
So you've seen it, you've dealt with it, and you can't be bitter your whole life. Otherwise, it just eat you up.
Yeah.
People, when people say, well, I'm sorry this country did it to you, it wasn't the country that did it. It was the administration in charge that did it.
Right. Rob and I were talking, and we had the boxer in. We would get in a fight, growing up, fight, and then go get a snow cone. It was over.
That's how I met a lot of my friends.
Yeah.
We get in a fight, and next thing you know, we're friends.
Right. You dodge it out, and it's over.
But nowadays, you can't even fight.
Yeah, you can't fight. You can't raise your kid. You can't do anything.
We got worried about a kid coming to school and shooting it up because they don't know how to handle anything.
Did you notice that the shooting that just happened in Detroit at that school, that was on for about 30 minutes? They shot up that school in Detroit.
Which one was that one? I haven't heard about that one.
I don't know. There's been so many. Google Detroit school shooting.
Those are Michigan.
Because the last one I knew
It was
about
3 days ago.
Oh, was it? Yeah. See, I
A
was.
week ago. John told me. I forget.
I just know about the one where the parents took off on the
Yeah,
run.
that's the one. That's
Oh, that's the one.
Out of
It
Michigan.
was that long? 30 minutes? I thought it was quicker. I thought it ended quicker than that.
No. I mean, it was.
In the news, you're saying.
Yeah, I'm saying they only
Oh.
played it like in the news for 30 minutes.
I'm just kind of surprised
Yeah.
because again, the parents bought the kid the gun. The parents bought the kid the gun. That's
Right.
what they're saying, and it could 100% preventable. The parents, the school asked the parents to take the kid home,
Day before, yeah.
and they know it was that day.
Oh, that day.
It was that day,
Jeez.
and the kid had the gun in his backpack, and then the school said they fought him, said no, we don't want to take him home. We don't want to take him home, so they left him. So if they would have took him home,
Never would have happened.
never would have happened. They wouldn't have bought him the gun. Never would have happened.
Yeah, something's weird there, and they went on the run. Then why would you go on the run? If,
And that's I hope they do get charged.
yeah.
Me too.
I mean, for their after actions, they definitely need to be charged. But okay, maybe that will help if your kid does something. I strongly believe that. I think parents need to start being held accountable for their kids' action
Damn
in
right.
some way. Either if they steal something, your parents go to jail.
Damn right.
Parents, that parents need to start being parents and not being friends and being involved in their kids'
But
life.
you also have to allow the parent to be a parent.
Yep. But you also have to allow a kid to be a kid. You can't just punish them for every little thing.
Right.
They get in a
There's
fight.
a happy medium.
They get in a fight to get in a fight. They're also the problem thing is your kid's getting in a fight, somebody wants to sue. A kid
Yeah.
broke his nose, did this, did that. I mean, the kid goes to the hospital legitimately. Okay, maybe you should, I think, not pay for all the medical bills, maybe 50%, because your kid was also involved in the situation too.
Yeah.
Because I mean, I got up in a lot of fights. I got my ass beat. I got jumped. I beat a lot of asses, and
But you always put your hands up.
yeah.
Even if you're going to get beat up, you always put your hands
But
up.
I never went after anybody legally. We just
Yeah.
dealt with it. You
Yeah.
you break a nose, you break your, whatever. You just go deal with it.
It is what it is.
But nowadays, everybody's so sue happy. But all these parents and all you hear about all these kids, just like the major one that Alex Jones keeps getting in trouble for calling it a conspiracy. That dude went and killed all kinds of little kids.
I forget.
It's on the
Since they booted him off just about everything on that planet.
Sandy Hook. Though.
yeah, the Sandy Hook.
Oh, okay.
I mean that she should have been charged.
Nobody does. No, it's
No
fucking
parent,
unbelievable.
no parent is held responsible for the kid's action when something that major happens, and they should be.
I mean, it's so bad, Tig, and then letting people steal shit out of stores, and it's just one thing after another.
Well, they
I
arrested-
don't even know where the hell I'm living anymore,
What,
man.
they arrested 14 of them and then just let them go?
Yeah. If it was on, we were talking about this yesterday. If it was under 600 or 900, they let you go.
Yeah. What? Yeah.
There was actually a gunfire exchange. This was in Seattle. You can look this up whenever you're bored or whatever. They're in Seattle. If two people are firing guns and they're like both running at each other, it's called mutual combat. You see that?
No. So they don't do anything?
They don't do anything. They just let them go shoot each other.
So it's Wild West, man.
That's like fucking
it's
Wild
the
Wild West.
duel.
And and out of all stations, and I hate the station, CNN, I fucking hate it. I can't stand it. I used to actually always watch it, but anyway, that's another fucking story.
Wow. That's crazy, dude.
Yeah, they let it go.
Well, just yesterday, I think it might have been the day before yesterday now, where the mob went into a physical therapy office in the middle of people getting physical therapy and robbed it. Stole everything.
Yeah.
Well, not everything, but it's like, holy crap.
And then the other ones went into Louis Vuitton or Chanel and started hammering the glass down. And there's cars going by. There's people everywhere. They're just walking out with clothes. Did you see that?
That
shit?
was like with 60 people mobbed it or something, wasn't it?
Yeah. And these guys, there's people everywhere. They're everywhere. They're videotaping and shit.
Too many videos.
And they're just walking out with clothes on top of clothes. And, you're talking, $2,000-$3,000 a shirt.
It's real life video.
Just
game.
walking right
Real
over-
life Grand Theft Auto. It's real life Grand Theft
Yo,
Auto.
dude,
it is.
Cool.
And here's the funniest
And it's
thing.
organized.
Yeah,
It's organized.
good.
And here's the funniest thing, right? When you watch the video, the guys who broke the glass and stole all the stuff, they're running this way, right? And the cops are literally running this way into the store. I mean, they literally
Crossed each other.
But you know what? I'll tell you what. If I was a cop and you want to defund me, and I'm risking my life every day. I don't know who I'm pulling over, and you want to talk about defunding me?
I'm surprised the cops showed up.
I wouldn't have showed up. Take it.
Because there's some locations where if they won't show up to robberies,
Well, no, they won't. In California,
burglaries, they won't.
in California, I looked that up last night when we left. If it's under 900, nothing. They don't go.
Yeah. That's
So if
why.
you ever want anything from,
That's why Walgreens closed down in San Francisco.
yeah,
What was the other store that? There's another one I think that closed down too, besides Walgreens.
I want to
But-
say I want to say they closed a couple CVS's down
Yeah,
too.
they're destroying their own neighborhoods. They're stupid. I mean,
It's like, what world are we living in? You know.
yeah.
And then you go even further and you start going down the rabbit hole of the AI and all that other shit. I mean, it's just nuts, man.
Yeah.
And then you write the book. We already went over the movie, but one thing I want to make a point of, because I really looked, you didn't write the book for money. You wrote the book, you and your team, you guys wrote that book so that the families would know the true story of what happened, because of what was being said in the media and the newspaper and the paper. Well, I guess people, I like the newspaper. I like to take a dump and read the newspaper for coffee. Don't you?
Well, it's a digital newspaper now.
Yeah. I just feel paper feels better.
Well, I live up in the nowhere, so we don't get the paper.
Yeah. Well, you got 40 acres.
Yeah.
So how about you give me your 40 acres and I give you my paper?
Yeah, no.
No. I got to, no. But you wrote the book so that the families knew what really happened. And I really respect that of you.
Yeah, and they couldn't twist our words. I mean, we thought about we could just go out, we can go to the news and just talk and this and that, but eventually they're going to twist your words. They're somehow, some way, they're going to edit. You know what they do now to a lot of people. So if we write it down in a book, there's nothing they can twist. This is the story. This is what it is. You can't say we said this and said this about it. Here it is.
That was such an awesome thing you did. And you know what? It's sold out on your site. It's sold out, the autographed copy. And on Amazon, there's only one left.
So when it first came out, it was New York Times bestseller. We would go around the airport and even Barnes and Nobles and stuff and see where the book is. They never put it where the number one bestseller spot was. It was always at the bottom.
Dirty.
Never up at the top.
Dirty.
Barnes and Nobles would put our book in fiction instead of in nonfiction.
They put it in fiction?
Oh, yeah.
Man, they hate you. Or they hate you guys. They hate that you're alive is what they hate.
Dude, it was bad. It is what it is. Whatever. I mean, it's out there. But it was kind of, we'd go around, I know I would go around. If I see the book, I'd sign it and just put it back on the shelf.
Nice. That's cool.
So a lot of people, if you bought it, and we went in and we signed it and stuff, and we don't get no money off of sales. And when a book's sold, we don't get no money for it unless we sell it ourselves off our own website. Same with the movie. We don't get no money when the movie is sold or streamed or anything like that. That's.
Where's the money go to?
That not us. I have no idea.
Wait, what?
Yeah, we don't get anything from it.
How's that possible?
Because the movie bombed and the book didn't do good enough.
Okay, so you're trying to tell me that a New York Times bestseller and a movie that was ranked, if I'm correct, in the top 10 when it came out, might have been 3. You tell me.
Well, according to them,
I should have wrote that down.
According to them, it bombed. It didn't. Yeah, it made like 58 million worldwide.
Oh,
that's it.
Oh, is it? Bro, yeah, and the budget was what? 50.
Yeah, I don't know,
40 or
something
something.
like that. Yes.
A bomb movie would be they spent 58 and you made 2.
But so.
And that's probably edited. There's probably a lot more than 58 or whatever.
But again, Trump bought out a whole movie theater so people could go watch it. A lot of people that I talked to when I was traveling across the country during the time, they would literally say that they would show the movie one time a day. It was completely sold out. They wouldn't have any other time. So they suppressed the movies themselves. Atlanta only had the movie in their theaters for one weekend and pulled it. So again, I don't know how many other locations across the country had it. I think in Colorado they did the same thing. It was only playing like a couple times a day, and that was it. Where a lot of these major movies, they're playing like all day long, but nope, not our movie.
You didn't get anything from that?
Nope, just the upfront fee. That's it.
Wow. Unbelievable. Wow.
Which even then, it wasn't a whole lot. So, I mean, I'd make more money staying a contractor than doing the book or the movie.
Do you think if Trump would have been in when you were in Benghazi, everything would have went different?
Yeah, I believe so. I mean, look what happened when the embassy in Iraq was under threat. I mean, he pulled people out and he sent in the Marines.
Got the job done.
And he killed freaking Salam Alaikum.
He didn't fuck around.
No.
I have to say this to you. I've said this to a couple other people. But what did you think as a military guy when you see him up there? I'm not implying that you're for Trump or not for Trump, because that just turns into a whole shit show.
Well, I mean, I did put him on the ballot in Colorado.
Did it?
Yeah.
I did too.
I went up and I actually took his registration to the Colorado office and got him on the ballot for Colorado.
Good job.
So no, I don't support Trump.
Okay, good. Neither do I.
Oh, the news loved it when I did that. It was great.
But as a military guy, right, Rob? What were you thinking when Trump calls what's his name, Kun Jong or whatever you say his name, North Korea, calls him Rocket Man day after day after day, and then they have a meeting. I don't need Secret Service or security. I'll go meet him one-on-one, and sits down across from, at the time, where people thought this guy is like on the brink of, hitting the button, all the shit that they're saying. Trump just walks right in. How you doing? Now, he just broke his balls for a month calling him Rocket Man, Little Man, Short Man. And you know what? That Kim Jong-un respected him for that.
Yeah.
Right? Am I right? Like the leaders in the other countries, they respect that.
Strong leaders. They don't.
Right.
Biden's not respected. He's a weak individual.
And guess what Kim Jong-un did? Dennis Rodman went over there. He loves Dennis Rodman.
Yeah, I bet he literally loves Dennis Rodman.
Yeah, I bet you he does, and I know what you're saying. But, Trump calmed him the fuck down. But you know what's happening right now, in my opinion? Putin is like this. Smiles ear to ear. China, they're dancing. They're dancing.
So
I mean, the list goes on.
Yeah, it's you need to be a strong leader. You can't show weakness. I mean, you just can't. Unfortunately, you can't. I mean, this is not a utopia fantasy Hollywood movie. This is reality. You have to show strength. A lot of the Muslim countries, the issues that we're having now is because we took out their leaders. Because the new ones, the only thing they understand is the iron fist to keep them in control and keep them in check. Unfortunately, I mean, we gave Afghanistan 20 years of freedom, and they folded within months.
Yeah.
And now they're back to where they're at, and they're still not standing up for themselves.
Two last things, and I'll let you go, and you can rest. Because we beat you. Now, in my opinion, and I could be completely wrong. I know nothing. Okay, I think taking out Saddam Hussein was a bad idea.
Yep.
I think he had that country under control. I'm not saying he was a good guy and didn't deserve a bullet to the head, but with him there, it seemed like he had things under control with them. It seemed like it was reasonably, whatever the word may be, and by taking him out, just made it 1,000 times worse, because then just somebody else comes in and is worse. I think that was a bad move.
I agree. I think it was more of a grudge with Bush than it was an actual tactical decision.
Bush Sr., right?
Yep.
And then I think
Bush Jr. again
handled what Bush Sr. didn't. Bush Sr. wanted to get that done. He didn't, and then he left it to the kid.
I mean, we were lied to. I mean, there was WMDs.
Yeah.
Just not what they were saying. Not even close. Because I know a lot of the door kickers that there's WMDs. And it actually was reported on. You just got to look for the news. But anyways, I also believe it was a mistake going in there. I don't think we should have took out Saddam. Because I mean, look what's going on there. Look what happened with Syria.
It was almost like they took him out, and then it was a domino effect.
But they also what they also failed in was disbanding the whole entire military instead of keeping them and helping.
Yeah,
because they would have followed. They would have. Not all of them. Don't get me wrong. Not all of them would have followed, but they would have came online once. But just because all those people, I mean, it was like a 1 million man army. They all turned against us. And they started doing guerrilla tactics, and that's the worst kind of war you can get into is guerrilla tactics, because again, you blend in with the local populace, and then you attack, blend in. It's hard to get rid of it, and we don't rule with an iron fist, unfortunately, and this is what you get.
And this is what we got.
The same thing with Gaddafi. Gaddafi was working with us after 9/11, keeping the terrorists in check and stuff like that. Of course, we didn't overthrow him. His own people did. But from what I've been told, we actually had a chance to go and get him before they killed him, and we didn't. Because he was trying to turn himself into the international community, and
was it really?
Hillary Clinton said no.
What a man.
I tell you, man, I don't know if you saw the video what they did to him, but I saw the video what they did to him. The unedited version, and it is not
nice.
It was not nice. That's what they should have.
What is wrong with that woman, man?
I mean, that's what they should have did with Osama bin Laden, but
yeah, but they didn't.
Yeah.
Now, Rob, after you hearing all this, what's your opinion? I still think some way, somehow, it was a setup to get rid of your ass.
Just, amazing story in a, circumstances you wish probably never happened, of course. Amazing story, but I don't know. It's hard to wrap my head around. It's to leave. Did they think you guys were dead? Comes to my head. Like, not did they think.
Well,
were they basically like, okay, we're not getting them out of there. They're dead. They're done. Why are we gonna? Kind of, you said, why are we gonna waste our? And I mean that in the way that's what comes to my mind. Could have been a setup. Yeah, I could see it. It's hard.
I guess I think like that because I'm used to that kind of shit. You know what I mean? But I could see the other end too, where they think you're dead anyway. So we might as well put the assets that we do have where we think that the people are going to live. But from what I know of the military, you don't leave anybody behind. So you would put the assets in the most dangerous situation, not the non-dangerous situation or lesser of dangerous situation. But I'm not a guy that was shooting rockets and hearing mortars coming, fucking running.
The Black Hawk Down thing makes sense too, though. That makes sense to me because they don't want a second Black Hawk Down, and that's
and then that's even more fucking political.
So when obviously they went into the meeting and during the initial attack, and I think for how long it took them, they're trying to come up with a scenario how they could spin it, and I think that's what it was. So. They didn't want to send any air assets, so they didn't have another Black Hawk Down. They are because of the protests that happened when they overran the embassy. They knew that was over a video. That was 100% the video. So I think they were trying to play that off on Benghazi, thinking that we would never come out and talk because of who we worked for. But again, when you don't fix a story, pretty much it really came down to the story of Ambassador Stevens. Why I wanted to go talk to. I was the only one who ever talked to the Senate. Nobody else and all the other guys didn't. But because I wanted to fix that story that was being told, and they never changed it. So that's why we're like, you know what, we got to fix this story, and the only way we could do it was do a book.
Well, I'm glad that you did. I'm glad you did, and you set the record straight. And I want to do one thing to the families of Christopher Stevens, right?
Yep.
To the families of Information Officer Sean Smith. 2 CIA operatives, Glenn Doherty. Remember, I have a pronunciation issue now that I found out that I may have dyslexia. But I don't think I do. But anyway, I'm just fucking around. And Tyrone Woods, wishes to their families, and sorry what happened. And, I wish the best for them and your family as well.
I appreciate it.
So now on to a lighter subject, and then I'll get you out of here. So now that you're out of the military, what's your favorite food?
Yeah, my favorite food's always pizza.
Pizza? All right, my man.
So, every time before I'd go overseas, when I came back, the first and last thing is pizza.
Yeah, I was just wondering.
So,
what are you listening to now with your 40 acres?
What am I listening to?
Yeah, what kind of music now?
I
asked you when you first got into the military. Now you're out.
Pretty much. Well, not as much as rap and stuff like that, but Five Finger Death Punch, stuff like that, and country still. So, Brentley Gilbert and stuff like that.
All right.
But I still get in the old days, listen to some Tupac and Eazy-E, and
every once in a while,
yeah,
throw a little mix in there.
Yeah.
Who's going to win the Super Bowl?
Dude, I don't even know who's playing.
If I were you, I wouldn't know either. I don't even know who. I don't even watch it anymore, to be honest with you.
Nah, again, that's why I call it knee ball.
You think Brady's the GOAT? If you had to pick Brady, Montana, or Marino, me and Lilo Brancato and Rob, we fuck around with this all the time.
Dude, Montana has some really great comebacks in really short times, though. Man, that's little Danny boy. See, football for Brady. I mean, again, football's changed so much. They have more games. There's a lot of different stuff going on than what it was when Marino and Elway and I don't know, man. Favre was still pretty good. He took a lot of hits. I don't know who would be. I don't know.
You said Montana.
Say it.
You just gave him a chub. You just gave him a chub.
Joe Montana. Say it. Say it.
Well, put that chub away.
Say it. I'm an Eagles fan, but say Joe Montana. Notre Dame, baby. Notre Dame.
I do like Notre Dame, by the way. All right. I think Brady.
Well, yeah, we were just talking about the Redskins. You know?
Yeah.
What? So now they have the just the letters on the helmet.
Yeah, it's just a W.
WFT.
It's just a W.
WFT.
They're a college.
And they say it's the Washington team. So you put the game on and you hear, New York Giants versus the Washington team.
I love when you get the announcers when you get the old announcers that have been doing football for a long time.
And they forget.
They forget. I mean, it's just like typical things. The Washington Redskins football team.
Yeah. And meanwhile, they're writing that fine out there in the fucking office with dirty motherfuckers.
Somebody's in their ear going, "You can't say that."
So much for not swearing.
It's so ridiculous, man. It is so dumb. I mean,
he probably got, and I bet you that announcer probably got fined for that too.
Sure.
Oh, jeez, man! It's just ridiculous. Like Indians, the Chiefs. It's dumb.
And the Indians had to switch their name too.
Did they change their name?
Yeah, they're not the Cleveland.
Did they really?
They're not the Cleveland Indians anymore.
Now what the hell are they?
It's going to be Cleveland something. I don't know if they picked a name or not yet.
Cleveland Eye.
Should they call them the Browns?
Oh, no, you can't do that. Oh, jeez. Can you imagine?
So do the Browns have to change their name? Isn't that insulting to brown people?
Soon.
That will be next. They'll definitely do that one.
I'm just wondering.
And that if they did the Redskins, they're definitely going to do the Browns.
I mean, how is that insulting?
Probably going to do it one a year.
You're right.
Or like quarterly payments or some shit.
Steelers.
Does everybody still wear the Redskin shirts though?
I think so, probably. Oh no, I think actually that's.
You can't wear it, can you?
I believe that if you have a shirt like that on, they will not let you into the stadium.
Wow,
I believe that's the rule. I'm almost positive. Yeah.
Why don't fans just boycott it's just ridiculous, man.
If I was a Washington Redskins fan or I lived in Washington, I wouldn't go.
It's ridiculous.
I wouldn't go anyway because they kneeled. I wouldn't go anyway. Fuck
yeah, that's why I call it knee ball.
Fuck them.
Like I'm done.
You can't hit anymore anyway. It's
It's kind of like hockey got when hockey went out and they banned fighting. That's when I quit watching. They can fight again now, but
not like they used to.
No, I was like, man, this is lame.
Every kid that I grew up with went to hockey games to see that get smashed against that glass.
Dude.
Did you do the Flyers games?
Yeah, that's the best part.
Heck yeah, I loved hockey. It was great, man.
Boom, those are some tough dudes and in shape.
Yeah.
And then I tried to play hockey and it didn't.
They had the
enforcers. It just didn't go well. What's that?
The enforcers.
Yeah.
They just fought. That's all they did.
Yeah, it was awesome.
I can't hit the puck, but I can punch.
Yeah, it was awesome. It was fucking awesome. Pull up his website again. Okay. All right, John. So here's the United American Defense Force. That's unitedadf.com. Tons of information on there. That is the THETIEGEN foundation.org. And then go to tab 1 over there. Or 2, sorry. And then we have JOHNTIEGN.com. All kinds of good stuff on there. Make sure you check that out. And you can get the book also on John's website. It is sold out currently. When are you restocking?
When we can get them.
Since the jerk-offs decided to put your book on the bottom and in fiction.
Yeah. I mean, we get them directly from the publisher, and right now they're kind of being a pain in the butt. So,
they won't even ship the man his own books. Jesus. And if you go to Amazon, the next one, since they won't ship the guy's book to him.
See, look at that rating. 5,000. It's a 5-star, 5,004
You got-
ratings, but they said the book bombed.
5,000.
They said the movie bombed.
5,004 ratings. 5 stars, not 4.5. I've never seen 5 on Amazon.
Dude.
That was like more than 1 or 2. You know what I mean? He's got 5 stars, no bad reviews. It's in Kindle, audiobook, hardcover, paperback, mass market paperback. What the hell is mass market
Well, I don't know
paperback?
what is
I
mass
don't know what
market
that means.
paperback.
But go to each one of them.
Hey, it's still more. It still costs you more than Hillary's book. I think that's 99 cents.
And then, I just want to, they must have printed more for you. Earlier, there was only A Rise Before Christmas. You can get the mass market paperback that we have no idea what that is. You can get it. And you can get the hardcover and paperback.
No, the hardcover. Well, if you can get the hardcover, get it because they're not printing no more. They said hardcover's done.
There you go.
Well, you can get it right now while you can before they snake them some more.
Damn, it's going for $32 up there. It's because they ain't making no more. That's probably why.
And why aren't they making any more?
They
Let
just
me guess, you don't know.
Well, they just transitioned to paperback. I think they just. I don't know how books work, but eventually everything goes to soft cover.
Yeah.
But
They're still printing the paperback for you, right?
we can't. We tried to order some so far. They said they can hit. Maybe it's because of COVID. I don't know.
Give me a break.
Everything's COVID.
Well, then why am I getting mail in the mail? If I order, I got my Joe Rogan plastic cell in the mail. I think you can get a book in the mail.
You would think.
You would think, but your name's Tig.
So yeah.
Great. 2 people sitting across from each other that aren't liked very much by some certain individuals.
They're gonna love this one. Man.
Oh yeah. Well, we had fun, and
Yeah.
that's what matters.
Oh yeah, it was a good time.
Appreciate your time. All these links will be in the description, and hopefully I can talk you into coming back again.
Oh yeah, we'll do it again.
I hope so. No, you're a
it's
good
good.
guy. You're a great guy. It was an honor to meet you, man. And you're funny, you're cool, and you've been married 23 years. That's the biggest one. I don't know how you did that. How long you been married, Rob?
15.
If she don't kill you when you get home tonight.
Yeah.
I got a couch if you need one.
15.
15 years? Good for you, too.
Yeah, it's a long time.
All right, Tig. Thank you so much for your time. I really appreciate it. You've been wonderful to me.
I
really
appreciate it.
it.
Oh, yeah, thanks
Thank
for
you very
having me
much, sir.
Thank you.